You want a war? You're going to get one.
What was that? He had no time for one more play.
He had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
the brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys game.
You
The
literally
brother screwed us. The brother screwed us. We had one man opportunity for one more play.
Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dick Bahira, welcome to Monday Night Football Wild Card Playoffs. I hate that playoffs are on Monday night, but it is what it is. I hope each and every one of you guys are doing okay. Let me say hi to everybody. So, Alexia, what's going on? J-Dog, Star Party, Nevada Maverick, bro. Rocco, my man, what's going on? Eagles 1278. Royalty is in the house. Dial Princess of YouTube. What's going on? Johnny Vegas. Thank you guys for being here. Latoya. Gabe. Dolls. Anybody that I missed, I appreciate it. I know it's been a tough 24 hours, but it is what it is. What can I say? I hate losing. I hate going to Cancun a week after Dallas, but it is what it is. Jimbo Slice, what's going on? Brian. Clark, what's going on? Jinx Wolf. Incomplete, what's going on? Bro, what's going on? The Texans are punting. Both teams have had a possession and done nothing. So even though I was late getting home, which I did as quick as I possibly could get to get here, it's 0-0. Steelers ball. I mean, if all these games play out the way they've played out, it should be a pretty good game. Did we all witness Justin Herbert pull a Dak Prescott? He's officially another Dak. Let's see here. What's everybody saying today? Who are we rooting for? I don't care who wins. Eagles keep A.J. Brown. That's the plan. That's my plan. Philly Nation says, man, since I'm from Pennsylvania, I will be going for my hometown Go Pitt. Yeah, the Steelers don't bother me one way or the other. It's not like the Pittsburgh Penguins. J-Dog, what's going on? Because you know what pisses me off? All this shit that comes up about KP, fire him. Did something big happen today that I missed? Big Baby Florin. Love for my boy, Big Balls Magoo. What's up? J Lamb, I'm pissed we lost. I've gotten more and more pissed as the night went last night. I had a problem sleeping last night. I was just pissed. That team is too good to go out the way they did. Where's the KP notification? I don't know. I'm waiting for it. What up, 500? What up, Big Mix? Man, it sucks losing, doesn't it? Howie, get that credit card out. It's time to go shopping. Yeah. Philly low-key Phillies could go. Yeah, definitely don't want to pay the dude he's silent during the playoffs. Who's that? Phillips? Wow. I mean, if I could get him for a reasonable price, I'd bring him back. But I'm not bringing him back for like $30 million. Steelers win, and our pick is one higher. Where are we at right now? I'm assuming somewhere around what? Like 22, 23? Is Kevin fired yet? Not yet. My guess is Wednesday. I think Wednesday. And thank you for the 59 likes. We got 245 people. 59 likes. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Zero imagination in this offense. No, he's just outclassed, dude. 500, that's why I enjoy your content, your stream, other games, also Philly, not just Eagles. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I was crying on everything. I've gotten more and more mad about it because I just like, I look at teams, I'm like, man, I know we're better than these teams. We're too good. But we got out coached so bad last night. You know? We got blamed. We got I should blame. We got outclassed. Here's Aaron Rodgers looks, throws wide open. DK Metcalf up to the 46. I actually think the Steelers are going to win this game. Is Jake Elliott trade yet? Not yet. We weren't that good all season. From a talent perspective, when you look at that roster, it's really talented, but we weren't good. And we literally could not get going on offense all year long. All year long. We were picked 26. We are way back. That's all right. We got a lot of picks, though. Rodgers looks, throws down the sideline. Metcalf. He's flagged. They're going to call a penalty. They don't call it on the 49ers. Glad the train wreck put me out of my misery. Yeah, in a way, I can understand that. Well, apparently Howie's trying to find the right offensive coordinator. Here's what it's going to come down to. Because if I'm the Eagles, you can't just hire an offensive coordinator, right? If you just hire somebody and Nick has the same power he had, he's just going to say, well, I want my offense run and you can mix your things that you like in it. That's not good enough. The Eagles have to tell Nick Sirianni, your prevent offense days are done. You can be the coach. You can be like coach, CEO, manage. You could call certain things on third and fourth downs. But whoever comes in, it is their offense, and they will run it. Here's a handoff. Gainwell goes for about 7. And if he says no, then he's got to go. Frank or McDaniels. I would prefer McDaniels, but I think Reich is a fine hire. Clark, man, thank you for the super chat. First of the day. He goes, 500. I'm half glad we lost, not going to lie. It was going to happen. We got out-coached on offense. This defense is why we won 11 games. It's true. It's true. We technically had a mini collapse. I mean, for most of the season, we were the 1 seed, and then we lost 3 in a row. And we gave up huge leads. It's crazy. Here's a handoff to Gainwell. Gainwell makes a nice move to the 20. My clock isn't running. Run that clock, 500. And now, I don't know if you guys seen, but the prevent offense, it's catching on. People are now saying it on their post-game shows. We got something there. Palantir says, did you see all the players, Saquon and Devontae, saying that the scheme is the exact same as last year? Only difference to me is situational play call and run game being asked. Yeah, it pretty much is, except, like you said, it's in-game adjustments cannot be made. He doesn't know what to do. Kellen Moore can adjust. What's his face cannot. But you got to get rid of the whole scheme. If the Steelers win, our pick is 22 instead of 23. That ain't bad. We remember how hard we were trying to get to 23, 22 last year? Eagles says 500. I know we're upset we lost and M2, but I think there's a huge positive about going out early and that firing KP, getting a great offensive coordinator. Don't get me wrong. I hate to lose. I agree. I mean, there's always positives to everything, I guess. Here's Rodgers back to pass. Looks, throws, incomplete. Mark and Steelers going to have a field day on Wednesday. Yeah, what are they going to say? What are they going to say? I mean, if Sills keeps saying, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, you guys stink, and it goes like 40-something games, and you go to 2 Super Bowls and win 1, eventually he's going to get his day to say, see, I told you so. But did he really tell us so? And then Mark, I mean, that dude's been on the couch for 30 years. I don't think they have any room to talk. They're not on, Dallas ain't on our level. Jay's so cool. Thank you for super chat. Damn, bro, I pray we would have had a real coach and offensive coordinator. Me too. That was the mistake, man. Gainwell's in, Cameron. 4th down and 3. And they're going to kick the field goal, which is what I would do. We got 374 people in the chat. Please hit that like. Make sure you guys definitely hit that like because we're going to get not a lot of people tonight. A lot of Eagle fans checking out. So make sure you guys hit that like. So did you see at your breakdown the last drive? It's telling. I didn't. Truthfully, man, I've been ripping and running since 5 a.m. I barely came home. I came home real quick, did a video. I didn't even have a chance to edit. Like, I haven't seen anything about what anybody has said. So you guys will be breaking news to me. But whatever happened, let me know. And I will talk about it. Pete says mobile library as an attachment. Let me see. I don't know if that'll show up on here. Let me see. So I don't know if that's going to show up. What's the picture of? Because I can't see it on the stream. Gainwell's a stud. Yo, Phil, you think we could possibly get Belichick? I wouldn't touch Belichick. Belichick's got his head somewhere else right now, man. He's got his little 20-year-old girlfriend. I don't think his head's into it. Why is it Patul? My guess he's not fired yet because they haven't had their exit meetings with the front office yet. Kalimura have to go. And who? Nick, you mean? Hurts throwing in triple coverage. What was that? Now on that play. Did you see you had two guys run the same route on either side and two guys run deep routes? Like, where was he going? There was nowhere to go with the ball. I guess he probably should have thrown it up to AJ, who had one-on-one coverage at least. But, man, the routes that they ran were horrible. The final play was 4 verticals versus cover 4 deep. It was a horrible play call. Dado says, I know you're not going to stop going down to after you go on Dan's show. You got to stop since it's the off. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop going on the show. It's nice to be invited. You know how many people don't want to see me or hear me? Somebody wants to actually hear me. I got to take advantage. Jay's so cool. David Super Chat. Us Eagle fans are in a great hands. We have the talent to win several Super Bowls, but we need new coaching staff ASAP. I agree. I mean, I feel like we lost that game yesterday because of the coach. I think the week before, not playing for the 3 seed, that was so arrogant. We don't care about the 2 seed. What? Like, it just arrogance, man. Yeah, they are. And Jay's so cool. Thank you for the super chat, my man. I agree. We're all right. We're all right. We just got to make a couple things, and we'll be all right. We'll be right back in it. So it's 3-0. Steelers hit a field goal. I totally missed it. And we got 5:57. What do I got? 5:27. Let's see what Stroud does in his third playoff game. Yesterday's loss was a blessing in disguise. Now it's time to get rid of the dead weight like Patullo, Elliott, Ringo, Epps, and others. I agree with you, man. I agree. We got to take advantage of it. True Alpha Noob says I'm okay with Stroud or May getting a Super Bowl ring now. Yeah, I don't care who wins it as long as it's not the Niners. Here's Stroud. Back to pass. Looks. Pump fakes. Throws. Caught. Gain of 6. I mean, I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Josh Allen win. Shady said the offense looks blah because Jalen is comfortable with the wheels, what's being run. I heard somebody tell me that he said that. I didn't hear exactly what he said, but when you hear Jalen talk, it sounds like he hates the offense, And I think to truly evaluate Hurts, and I've said this before, you got to give him an offensive coordinator that actually uses him right. And so if we get a good coordinator in here, then we can make a real evaluation. You're going to stay with the PA team? I'm okay with that. One of my best friends is a Steelers fan. Shout out to Clint. I don't know if he's watching, but he loves the Steelers. We used to dream when we were younger of Eagles-Steelers Super Bowl. Torreville Damer Super Chat. rooting for the Texans to win the Super Bowl because that would make the Cowboys be even more insignificant with their own state. I think you've convinced me, my friend. I'm convinced. Let's go Texans. Here's a handoff. First down. Just think about it. A young quarterback is probably going to get a Super Bowl before Dak Prescott. Too nice. Thank you for Super Chat. I wouldn't mind Cliff Kingsbury. Me too. Hold on. I hear people talking. People outside. 19-point homes is a joke. Yeah, I mean, dude, how many points have we scored in each game the last 3-4 games? It would be awesome, yeah. This is rough. Still stick to my stomach. There was nothing Hurts could do with that last play. Hard to trust Hurts. AJ after 4 drops. It was bad, man. And look, I'm not gonna fully just blame the coaches either. I think AJ had a worst game I've ever seen AJ Brown play. I think Hurts had a chance to prove why I think he's clutch, and he didn't come up at the end. They could have been better. Does anyone know when those exit interviews are? I think probably Tuesday or Wednesday. Usually, I'm pretty sure the coaches meet with Howie and stuff. At least in years prior, it was Tuesdays. There's a quick screen of Collins. Goes for a couple. And you got a third down coming up. An Eagle sitting on the couch wearing a gold chain. And the rest of the NFC sitting on the floor with their heads hanging down. I got to see it, man. You gotta send it to me, man. If you send it to my Twitter, I'll download it. I want McDaniels. McDaniels or Kingsbury. I know they come with problems though, but I would like them. If that, I don't know. Here's a pass caught over the middle, the 40. Truth be told, what's going on, man? I have a weird feeling. Dude, I don't know why I have a weird feeling it's going to be the ball. I don't know. I just got a weird feeling. Solidaire Hurts to throw the ball all game. Sorry, ass coach, you can't adjust. They can't adjust. The routes stink. It's just bad. Patullo has no concept of pass routes. Why was he even passing game coordinator, let alone offense coordinator? Yeah, I think the passing game coordinator was, you're Nick's friend, and we need something for you. Here's a flea flicker. Stroud. Oh, he's going to get paid. He gets 8 fumbles. Fumbles. And the Steelers get it. Is that what? Sawyer's a good player. That's a big turnover. I'll tell you one thing, man. I didn't think the Eagles' those edge rushers were non-existent. Yeah, Quez is signed for. Oh, is he? I haven't seen the guys. That second seed would have a mad difference. Well, yeah, you would have beat Green Bay, and you'd be playing Chicago this week. Oh, it was an interception. He caught the fumble. Talented says 500. Watching the look of the players when KP was calling the final play was damning. AJ shakes his head, and Hurts was starting in disbelief. Who calls 4 vertical on a 20-yard line? I know. It's crazy, right? I really think McDaniels would be great with Hurts. I just think I like the speed that his guys have. I like the stuff he does offensively. If you go back and watch, not this year, but I think maybe 2 years ago, when they started real hot, and I screamed a couple of Dolphins games, man. I was talking about I love their offense. I would love to see that. And I'm trying to catch up. I'm sorry I'm so far behind in the chat. Jason Cool, thank you for the super chat, my man. And not to mention, we have a young roster full of studs. We are scary for years to come. We are. We just gotta tweak things. I choose not to just blow up the whole roster. But you gotta cut some things out. My goal is get somebody that is going to excite and reinvigorate A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and all those guys. Tell Nick what we told Doug and what we did with Doug, except the change or get out. I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's what they're going to do. Philly, would you fire Nick? Answer is yes. Philly, question, would you fire Nick? My answer is yes, because I just don't like his decisions that he makes. And I just think he's a terrible coach. I think the coordinators carried him last year. I said I thought Nick was like Barry Switzer of the Eagles. And I wouldn't fire him, though, because of his record. You know, the fact that he took us to 2 Super Bowls and won, like, I think that has to count for something. But I would strip the offense. And if he doesn't do it, if he doesn't give it up, then I fire him. Jalen declined to talk. That's because Jalen's got class. And it's like, if you're not going to say something nice, don't say it at all. All the available offensive coordinators are interviewing for jobs. We need KP fired today before no one is left. Let's go, Phillies. Sign Bo Bichette. That guy's, is he from Toronto? Bichette? I'm trying to remember. Is that the guy from Toronto? Wow, so Stroud didn't lose a fumble all year. All right, can the Steelers capitalize? There's another thing we didn't do. We couldn't capitalize. Here's a handoff. Warren loses a yard. Smitty said the offense is fine too, so you have your one receiver, quarterback saying the same thing. Think about that. I think Smitty has to say that. I think he's just a class act. Devontae Smith, those guys, man, you know, they know that it's also about execution. They didn't execute. If the Seahawks beat up the 49ers and win, does that make the Eagles lost to the Niners look worse? Nah, I don't think it matters. You know, I kind of gonna go. I'm probably gonna root a little bit for Buffalo. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the coach and all that shit, but I like Allen. Here's a throw. Metcalf dropped it. He pulled the A.J. Brown. I think there's going to be a celebration of Broad Street at the Fire KP, maybe. Pulling for the Texans, I could see that. I don't mind the Texans. Jim, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate all the hard work this season. You the man. Hey, Jim, man, thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. That actually means a lot to me. It does. Devontae Jones, thank you for the super chat, my man. He says, what are the odds AJ is gone? I'm going to say 50-50. Hold on, my cat wants in. There you go. There you go. My cat wants in the house, in the room, she gets it. I think 50-50. I mean, I think it's going to be hard to trade him. I have a question for you guys. John, thank you for super chat. Poor version of Black Ron Jeremy. That's pretty funny. Not going to lie. All right, so Steelers do nothing with it, and they got a punt. Here's the punt, and it's been returned at the 8. What do you think the best game of the weekend was? The Bears-Packers games, or was it the Panthers-Rams? And do you think the Rams-Bears will be the night game? I don't know what the night game is going to be. I think the Packer-Bear game was really good. People say we were stuck with Jalen. Not appreciating his runs has been the best in Eagles history. It has been. And, you know, one thing that I was really disappointed with Jalen, though, and I'm not blaming Jalen, but I really thought they were gonna run him more. Like, I really thought they were gonna bust out the RPOs and that they were saving him and didn't want him to get hurt for that. And they didn't even try. And now people will say, well, that's because Jalen doesn't want to run. But if you ask Jalen, he says that's what they call. So I don't know what to make. Laughing my ass off. AJ ain't getting traded. Emotions are high, but remember, that was before him, y'all are delusional. Exactly. Yeah, I'm not ready to trade. I don't want to trade AJ at all. Big Mike, my man. 500, this is a sad day for Philly Nation. Yesterday, AJ was playing like Nelson Aguilar. KP is a special of the play calling. Our defense kept us in the game. We will be okay, and how we would trust. Do you remember the Hard Knocks where Nick puts up the big sign? We're 42-2 when we win the turnover battle. Well, guess what? You're 43-3 now. It didn't work. Who died and made you expert on all things Philly? You live in Southern California. What is that? What is your issue with me, Calvin? Yeah, I live here. Yeah, I live here. What is that, against the law? That doesn't mean I'm from here. So what's your issue? See, here's the one thing you got to understand, my man. I don't come on here claiming to know everything. I'm not saying that I'm always right. All I'm saying is my opinion. I have a right to my opinion. If you don't like it, I mean, that's too bad. But don't take anything I say as gospel. I'm just giving my opinion. I don't know what you're crying about. Dib and Duck, thank you for the super chat. Cat treats. Yeah, cat treats are good for cats. You blame the that positive bunny was crap. Corbett Brian Pupper, thank you for super chat. Newsflash 500, they call RPOs, but Jalen stay home handing it off every time, even when it ends crash. Triple threat becomes 0. Yeah, you can't have that. Look, I love Jalen, but he's got to use his legs. You take that threat away from him, it doesn't help us. And thank you for the super chat. Hurts and AJ are good. The players are frustrated with the offensive philosophy, in my opinion. I agree. Yo, Philly, I doubt you would get any player bashing Patullo because it wouldn't be on the hot seat. Obviously, they probably all want to see. they're not that way. You know what I mean? That has happened many times. I don't, people are crazy to me. I guess I have to run my disclaimer like every video. The opinions shared here are mine and mine alone, and they don't reflect it. They're not gospel. I never claim to be speaking gospel. I'm just giving my opinion. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, my opinions are right a lot of times. Sometimes they're wrong. Wow, bad snap. Stroud's got to throw it. Oh, man, that almost dangerous. If you're old enough to remember the football video games in the 1980s, then there were only like 6 play options, run right, run left, etc. That's the Eagles playbook. Yeah, and if you didn't call like the right defense, there would have one offensive lineman would come down and he would block nobody, and that's the way you would run. Yeah. 3rd and 2, caught, first down. Christian Kirk. The offensive philosophy is like watching. I don't think Blankenship is that bad to me, but he needs to be better. He didn't have a good night. I thought Blankenship had his worst game. I thought A.J. Brown had his worst game. I didn't think Elliott missed that extra point. I don't know if they're going to keep Nakobe. I don't even think Nakobe knows. 500 for offensive coordinator. There you go. Stroud, play action, looks, gets pressure, throws it, incomplete. Dean Nightingale says, the all-season the Eagles front office has to put limitations on what Sirianni can do. He has to be an overseer and not be allowed to hire offensive coordinators, let ownership and front office hire. I agree, and I would go a step further and not call plays. I mean, not call plays, but not be in part of installing or what the offense is. He has too much control already. Let me know with Sirianni. I don't think that's going to happen. We love you, but thank you, my man. I appreciate that. You're about one thing, that the Dallas Cowboys suck. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, they do. However, people calling AJ betrayer is. Who are we replacing him with? We are terrible at drafting receivers, and I'm not trading farm for receiver. Well, here's the thing. And here's my question to the people who want to trade AJ. What do you think you're getting for him? Because I keep seeing people say first-round pick. You're not getting a first-round pick. I don't think you're getting a second-round pick. So I'll say this. And my question is, those that want to trade AJ, are you willing to trade him if it's a fourth-round pick? Would you still trade him for a fourth? Because I think it's going to be around a fourth-round pick is what you would get. Maybe a third. See, because his contract, the way it's done, if a team does take that on, they're not going to give up a lot. AJ Carr has cost himself a lot of money this year. He has, and I would sign him because of it. German Eagle, thank you for the super chat. At first, new name, old guy. It's me, James Gaming. Okay, I remember James Gaming. You're 100% right. Don't trade AJ or a Super Bowl window will close quickly. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to. Donnie says, yo, 500, there is the offensive lineman Proctor who is 6'7", 360 pounds. What do you think we get him in first round? Is he a guard, I'm assuming? Or a tackle? I mean, I'm very much interested in an offensive lineman early. Patulu should switch to defensive coordinator the way he was able to shut down entire off. I know. He was the offensive coordinator of the prevent offense. You don't feel like there's an offensive line. I have to check out who he is. Stroud looks, throws, 3rd and 3, gets it. Can't wait for the draft. Yeah, me too. Though we got a lot of picks next year. It's going to be a very interesting offseason. Do you think having Lane Johnson that game hurt us? I think not having him always hurts us. Our record with him and not him is ridiculous. I don't think it would have won us the game, though. They knew offensive coordinator will use Hurts as a runner. Important to have a good backup if he gets dinged up. Yeah, fair enough. I think that's fine. Here's a handoff of 1st and 10. It could go for 9. Nick Chubb. Oh, let me hit my play. If we were to trade AJ, what would you want return? I would want the highest pick I possibly could get, even if I have to wait a year to get it. But if it's going to be what I think they're going to say it is, like a 4th, maybe a 3rd, I don't want to trade him for that. I think he's more valuable. I would rather get him excited about the new offense. Here's Chubb. Going to get a first down. Didn't McNabb stop using his legs and running too? Seemed like it was part of his downfall. Yeah, he did. But the thing with McNabb is he was like real into, I got to get bulked up. I got to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And he kind of slowed down and he was kind of bulky. I think that was a problem. But he did, yeah. I mean, look, as you get older as a quarterback, like the natural evolution is that you have to stop running to a certain extent. But it doesn't mean you have to stop making it a threat. Stroud on 1st and 10 at the 40, hands off again to Chubb for 8 yards. McLante, thank you for being here. He said they sabotage Hurts like they did. Remember, they tried to make him a pocket passer, and now they take Hurts' legs. Yeah. See, I thought they were holding back on him running. Like, I thought they were like, well, we watched him get concussion late in the year against Washington. We'll bring that out when we get to the playoffs. But no. Jersey Dolphins says, I'm a Dolphins fan, but been hanging here for almost 5 years watching games. Love this dude. Yeah, my man Jersey Dolphins. Shout out to Jersey Dolphins. He's been here for a long time. Oh, man, nice run. Who is that? Marcus? Mark. Nice run. They're getting ready to score. Grieve, David Super Chat. Fire KP. Grieve. Release Elliott. Wow. And Calcaterra. Big Dom needs to put up in a suit. He doesn't need to be seen. His gimmick has gotten cartoonish. Oh, okay. So you're like a little frustrated with Big Dom. All right. Interesting. It's interesting. There's another handoff. Marks. Look, I love the way that they're running the ball. They're just running right up the middle. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. Fabio, thank you for super chat, my man. Appreciate it. He says, did you see Darius Cooper catch a third one half? Yep, I did. I think Darius Cooper is going to be good. I think next year he becomes our slot wide receiver. Roll Philly Dogs, thank you for the super chat. Smitty was a top 5 in yards before AJ's BS. Smitty is wide receiver 1. What do you do with AJ, though? What are you going to do with him, man? Leon Banks, thank you for the super chat, my man. 500, I'm so mad. KP really ended this season. I was so sad last night. I couldn't sleep till like 3 a.m. I called out of work today. Were you able to sleep? I didn't sleep well either. I kept dreaming my house door was unlocked and people were coming through. But I couldn't get the Eagles out of my mind. And I just kind of got more angry and angry as the night and the day went on. I didn't sleep well, Leon. And thank you for that super chat. Drizzy, thank you for the super chat. These players be doing too many podcasts. Yeah, I agree with you there. Toryville, thank you for super chat. 500, I would consider trading Carter. Wow. As part of a deal to get Garrett. Then extend Davis Ojomo. Don't know if Carter is worth the long-term risk. Wow. What did he have? 2 sacks yesterday? See, I got to keep him. I want to sign Davis and I want to sign Carter. I want the 2 interior linemen. I want those guys here long term. And if I have to take a little bit less or try to find my defensive end and edge rushers in other ways, I'm okay with it. Although I do think they should go for Garrett, though. I do. But it's interesting. You would get a lot. It would help probably get you Garrett for sure. But remember, Garrett's also, 30? How old is Garrett? And thank you for that, Toryville. That's an interesting thought. I'm going to have a lot of thoughts about that kind of stuff this very soon. Cali Eagles, thank you for super chat. Tell me what you 5. If you were to fire Nick, what job would he find? Kit, call a game, and fired as a head coach. I think he would get a head coaching job. I mean, somebody, somebody's going to look at that record and hire him, And I get what you're saying. He doesn't call good plays. He doesn't really run an offense, doesn't run defense. But how many coaches in the league don't run the offense or the defense, and they're just the CEO? I think he would get hired, to be honest. Stroud looks, play action to Kirk. Touchdown, Texans. Nice play. We don't even do something that simple. Fabio, thank you for super chat. Look back on Johnny Wilson on the run blocks. He's a beast. Yeah, I like Johnny Wilson. We got to figure out something at tight end, though. I think I want to bring Goddard back for a year if I can. Stroud, nice play. Now, Stroud's still looking for his first playoff win, right? An extra point is up and good. Second longest playoff touchdown drive in Texans history. I love D'Amico Ryans. Tom Brady praised him on the broadcast yesterday. He's a co-owner of the Raiders, so there's an option. Who he praised? Carter? Blake says, Philly, don't know if you've touched on it, but if the Eagles were to trade AJ, what do you think they get at this point in his career? Well, that's my issue, Blake, is that I keep seeing a lot of Eagle fans talk about a first-round pick and Christian Gonzalez, and I don't think you're going to get more than a 4th-round pick. I'm just being serious because of the age and stuff. And his contract. I think you get a fourth, maybe at most a third. So, to the people who want to trade him, I would ask, would you still want to trade him for a fourth? If all you could get is a fourth round pick, would you want to trade A.J. Brown? Because I don't think you're getting a first round pick. And I think that people are going to be surprised when they see what they could actually get. Now, if I could pull something off, and I thought if you could get a second, what I would do is, if I had to trade them, I would say this: I don't care who the team is, but I would say I don't want any draft picks for 2026. I want your first round pick in 2027. If I could get somebody to bite on that, I would do it, and then I would load up and get that kid from. Well, I think he's leaving Ohio State, right? Jeremiah Smith. But other than that, I think you keep him. 500. Who would you draft in the first round of the draft? I don't have a specific player yet, but I'll tell you the position I'm looking at. And it might surprise you, but I'm actually looking at a right guard. I would not mind taking a right guard first round pick. You know, I think you got to upgrade that offensive line. I really am happy also with the development of Jalen Hunt. And I also think cornerback's got to be in play too. Would you trade AJ for a third and Crosby? I think that would be a fair trade probably, but I don't want to trade AJ. I just have no interest in trading him because I know what that means. I think that if you have a really competent coordinator that knows how to use the receivers, I think him and Devontae, I think they'll be spectacular. But I mean that I could live with that because of Crosby. Gotta go some sleep, bro. All right, A. Jones, man. Thank you for stopping in, my man. I'm getting really mad. I want KP going now because he sucks. I would trade AJ and 2 1s for Crosby or Garrett from the Browns. Wow. That's a lot. Niner for life, man. Congratulations on your win, man. You guys took it to us. Does Stroud have a playoff win already? I don't remember. So if he wins again, he's got as many as Dak Prescott. Would you trade A.J. Brown for Jeremiah Smith? Like, get a pick for him? I mean, I would, but I don't know if that's going to... Yeah, I would, but you'd have to wait another year. Aaron Rodgers gets pressure. Rodgers gets hit. Oh, they throw a flag. What? Why are you throwing that flag? That's a horrible flag. Oh, intentional grounding. Yeah, okay. I thought they were going to call on a defense. All right, yeah, good call. Corbin Brian Pumper, thank you for Super Chat. Did you see the pass rush? Lack thereof. We need to stack the edges like Pittsburgh and draft a tackle in the second. Yeah, we need to. That pass rush that killed us too. I mean, you got to hit Purdy, man. Yeah, you know, Nolan Smith had a disappointing year. I think Jalen Hunt came along, but Nolan had a disappointing year. I didn't hear Hunt's name called yesterday. He was out there, but he was quiet. Hunt, Nolan Smith, totally non-existent. Jalen Phillips had pressure once that forced a step up, and then I think Carter got the sack, but... Smith can't leave for another year, so you won't be getting him. Plus, you'd have to pick early in the draft to even be in the running. Get him on, unless you all have the tank year. It's not happening. No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting him in 2 years, not now. That's why I'm saying I don't want to pick now. I want my pick 2 years from now. If somebody gave me a 2027 first round pick, I'd take it. And remember one thing about trading up. If you're trading up for a position like wide receiver, it never costs as much as a quarterback. So you have to go up and get them, but that's why you got to load up on first-round picks. It's possible, but you got to plan well ahead. Richie says, Jurgen struggles with calling out the assignments. We need a Creed Humphrey type center. Creed Humphrey and a draft pick for A.J. Brown. I don't know. I'm not ready to get rid of A.J. Who are we going to have? Who's going to be your number 2 wide receiver? Who do you go out and get? Who's available? Can't sign Phillips to a large deal, not worth it. What he will get this all season. Yeah, well, that's the question, Missy Elliott. What's he going to get? I don't want to pay. I'm not paying him $30 million. I'm not. I'd rather pay Jordan Davis and Carter. I don't think you can. I just don't think you can afford to let Jordan Davis go. And I think the contract that's going to suffer is going to be Nolan Smith, because right now I'm not giving Nolan Smith an extension. Philly, next time call Mark when the Cowboys lose the playoffs. Whoa, and they gotta make it for. I wouldn't trade AJ until I get a legit offense in here. AJ would probably rebound with a legit passing offense. I agree. Pickens could you imagine if the Eagles took Pickens? Oh my God. Dude, that would be crazy. Tyreek Hill, yeah, what has he got left? I mean, he's come back from major injury, right? Tell Nick what we told Doug and do what we did to Doug, accept the change or get up. Yeah, I agree. I think that's what they're going to do. I just think that Nick's going to do it. I don't think Doug wouldn't play like that, but I think Nick will. You like Cam just at right guard. That's an interesting perspective. What if there's a really good center out there when you're drafted, let's say a second or third round, like a top-notch center? Yeah, you could get Jurgens and put him at right guard. That could solve that 2 problems with 1 stone. I like that. I actually like that idea. Question about Jurgens is his injury going to be like something he can't recover from, or is he going to need the year off? An innovative offensive career is more important than a wide receiver. He could scheme anybody open. Well, yeah, but I also don't see it like one or the other. See, to me, it's like, well, I have this coordinator that can get anybody open. Okay, great. But imagine what you could do to a guy that's really good. If you can make average guys look good, then what can you make an all-pro look? So I'm all for it. Too many injuries to sign him. Cooper at number 2. He's got too much to prove still for me. However, people say AJ's a whiner or hypocrites. All he says is literally everything we've been saying all year about the offense, and he's completely right. Yeah. I agree, Telltale. Philly 500, when is as soon as we can know who our new head coach is? Tomorrow, 2 weeks? Well, our new head coach, I don't think the head coach is changing. They're not gonna get rid of the coach. But the coordinator's gonna happen. I think within the next few days. I don't think the Eagles can sit on it long. Like, you got to get moving now. I mean, McDaniel's already getting interviewed by the Lions. Oh, there's a snap. Stroud fumbles it, gets it, takes a he fumbles it again, and he fumbled it again. Recovered Pittsburgh. What? That's another fumble. I don't think Wilson's a number 2. It's 1,000% cheaper to keep AJ 1 more year. I agree. Go Birds, baby. Philly 5, long, short. I used to coach baseball in college, and we asked rival Paul Manier, number 1 in the country, coach, how he does it, and he said the easiest job he ever had was he just fills out his what? So you think you just fill out? So basically, just manage and be CEO. Basically, is what you're saying. Yeah. Barkley and Beefy will be so dominant, real offensive coordinator. True. I mean, priority 1 is offensive coordinator. You have to get that right. You have to get that right. Everything. Here's a handoff Gainwell gets nothing. To me, the whole key to the Eagles all season is got to get the right offensive coordinator. Once you get that, everything will fall into place. But if you mess up, if Nick gets involved and screws it up, it'll screw everything up. A.J. Aguilar-Brown's not being... Oh, man. You're throwing Aguilar out there. I trade A.J. to trade for Garrett Crosby, resign Dotson, and draft the wide receiver early. Yeah, I mean, if you get one of those guys, I would understand. There's another pass as Gainwell, nothing there. Defense is playing good, man. This is a big turnover. Again, Pittsburgh just... You got to score points off turnovers, man. Devontae Jones, thank you so much for Super Chat. Pumper was celebrating the Eagles choking the second seed because he wanted to play the Niners. Laugh out. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Then he was worrying right when the game started. He's probably one of KP's escaped brain cells. Yeah, Pumper, you wanted the Niners. That's right. Here's a pass to Gainwell. Gainwell makes a move. He's going to be short on 3rd and 14. Thank you, Devontae Jones, for that. A.J. Brown before June 1st means $42 million dead cap hit. Trade after June 1st means you take on $16 million cap hit. 2026, but the draft capital isn't until 2027 draft. Yeah, and here's the other thing. A lot of teams by the end of June, like by June 1st, like they've already spent all their money and stuff like that. So it becomes harder to trade them. I just don't think, it just doesn't make sense to trade them. Just get somebody in here that he'll be excited about. Here's a 4th down. They're going to go for it, a 4th and 2 and get it. Gabe says, Jordan Davis is talking about how much Dean means to him and doesn't know what's going to happen with him. It's kind of sad how hurt he sounded during after his game interview. I know. Dean played with him all through college. I hope there's a way that they could bring back Dean. I do. I just don't know what it is. I also think we need to get a safety. I think you need another safety, man. Here's a handoff. Warren. First and goal at the 9. Nothing there. Tomorrow is going to be really sad. The hard knocks we're going to do will be sad tomorrow. We got 568 people in here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hit that like. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Yo, get these Evan offensive coaches, the head coach, out of here and hire Harbaugh. That's got to be tempting to them, right? I mean, they loved Harbaugh when he was here. I wouldn't mind. I would not complain at all, dude. I would not. Rodgers looks, throws it away. Yeah, you need another corner. You need offensive coordinator, but you need a corner on defense. I think you need another safety. I think you're going to need another edge rusher. I think you need those things on defense, and then on offense, I think you need multiple offensive linemen. O-line as Seth Joyner is trash. Seth Joyner's trash? What do you mean Seth Joyner's trash? Seth Joyner's the man. Are you kidding? I love Seth. All these guys today that were being interviewed at the Link Financial books are pulling tears. I do hope they can bring back Dean back. Davis looked really upset. Yeah. How is he not? My guess is they haven't met. The coaches haven't met with the front office yet. It's coming. I think tomorrow, Wednesday. Rodgers on 3rd and goal. Looks, going to get sacked. He can't move. I'll tell you what, though, they can't wait. They can't take long because you got to go and get a guy now. I want Caleb down. He's the best safety in the draft, but he's going to be top 10. I don't see Eagles getting him, to be honest. Not if he's top 10. But is that Ohio State? I'm sure Howie called Harbaugh. Well, how do you do it? Like, how do you fire Nick, though? Like, do you think the Eagles would do that? I mean, Nick didn't he just get a huge contract extension? 2-minute warning. No, I don't think they will either. I'm not expecting either, that, Greg. I think the most realistic pick for a first rounder this far out is probably either an edge rusher or it's going to be it's going to be offensive lineman. Don't be surprised the Eagles go like right guard or go guard, interior line. I love Lane and he's Philly legend, but I think he should hang it up. Well, yeah, I mean, he's got to make that decision. The one thing I don't want them to do, though, is picking 21, 22. I don't want them to go, oh, we got to reach for an offensive lineman or offensive tackle to replace Lane. Don't reach for nothing. Take the best player that falls to you. If Rodgers had a better roster, I would actually pull for him to win our Super Bowl. Yeah, I think they got to, Seth Joyner's ready to fire everyone but Vic. Seth Joyner's a no-nonsense, I guess a lot of people see Seth Joyner as, like, the announcer, or, like, the commentator. I just remember Seth as the player, man, and he was a beast. He wouldn't put up with this shit. Do you think John Harbaugh will be willing to come off? No. I don't even think John Harbaugh is an offensive coordinator. If I remember correctly, when he got hired as head coach, he was the Eagles special teams coach. He was their special teams coach, and they got hired. Nick got contract extension, but it's never been made public. They could have set him up where they could move on from him, but didn't make it public. Huh. Yeah. Seth Joyner tells it like it is. He doesn't care who likes it either. Yeah, that's Seth. That's the Eagles' defensive ad. It makes sense. 500, we don't draft guards in the first round, not since that Danny Watkins. Well, they've drafted some before. It's been a while. What about the kid, Sean Andrews they drafted? That dude was actually good for a while. He was really good for a while. Yeah, I don't put stock into, well, they don't draft this position and they don't draft. That's kind of like been thrown away. When they went out and drafted Jahad Campbell last year, that was that. And the Pittsburgh kicks a field goal. So 2 turnovers by Houston, and I think the Steelers only got 3 points off of it. Trotter Jr. taking Dean's spot. You might. You know what? In the game he played versus Washington, he was really good. If Eagles fire Nick and hire John Harbaugh, the fans, they would. I agree. I definitely think the Eagles will go for a guard in the first round, but it would have to be a guard who's versatile to play center or tackle too. What about if there's like a center? I like the idea of if there's a if there's a better center on board, let's say second round. And, really good center. Would you draft a center and then move Juergens to right guard? Juergens wasn't bad as a right guard. See, I think the whole thing with Juergens is his health. Philly KP won't be fired, just repositioned. Well, that's going to be interesting. Will the Eagles fire him, or will he just take another job on the team? See, I think you might be right, Trexler, because I think Nick don't want to lose his butt buddy. You might be right. Phil, I have to admit, as a Cowboy fan, I enjoy your stream win March. Looking for the next year. All right, thank you, Blake. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. As a Cowboy fan, I want Dan as well. The way teams draft, he may be there at 12. Also believe he'll be gone. You guys will have a chance at him if he's around. And I would say Dallas definitely could use a safety. Right tackle would be first. I think, look, if there's a right tackle available, take him. But don't reach for one, is what I'm saying. Nick is arrogant enough to get himself fired, then his emotional bouncer, Big Dom, is scoring him out. That's true. That is true. If the Eagles say, Nick, not your offense anymore, you be head coach, you might be right. It might happen. At that case, if the Eagles did have a coaching vacancy, Harbaugh would be my guy immediately. Is he on the... Possibly. It would depend. Like, if he gets to the divisional round of the playoffs, no. But if, like, they didn't make the playoffs and, like, they choke and the same problems, maybe. Gustavo says, crazy to say, if Nick was fired, no team would win. I could probably see him going to the Browns or Titans, but not to a contender offensive coordinator or head coach position. Everyone knows he... I think he would get hired. I mean, he's got just too many wins. His winning record is just too good. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. Somebody would hire him quick. Right or wrong, you know. Lane has to think about hanging up. Time for a new right tackle. O-line needs a reboot too. Yeah, I just think Lane might not want to go out this way, you know. Yeah, but damn it, dude. What's up, House Nelson? Why is Kevin still on effing roster? You think Nick is on his knees kissing Howie's ass? I just think that today was like the players clearing out their lockers and stuff. I don't think they've had a chance to sit down with the front office yet. I think give it by Tuesday or Wednesday. Here's a push-tush. First down. 58 seconds left in the half. So now Stroud back to pass, looks, throws for a couple, up to the 38-yard line. You got to hurry up. Try to get in the field goal range. Houston takes a timeout. Andrews was a beast until he had the depression problems. Yeah, Andrews was really good. I mean, they were talking about being the best guard in football. 41-33, my man. Thank you for Super Chat. 500, I'm benching Cam, putting Landon at center, drafting a guard from Penn State. I think it will be Frank at offensive coordinator. Lane will be back like he's a beast. Interesting. That's interesting. I think Frank Reich, if you said to me, who do I think is most likely to be the Eagles offensive coordinator, I would say that my odds would be Frank Reich. I think Frank Reich is the most likely person to come back as offensive coordinator. Truthfully, 500, that was the only way this thing was to work in the front office says Nick is not our offense no more. Yeah, that's the only way. I mean, if they give Nick, if they don't take control away from that offense on Nick, it's just going to continue, you know? So they gotta strip him of that. And then if Nick says, well, I've won all these games as a head coach, I'm not giving up any control, then you may have something there. They got to go through the elevation for a guy. I can't wait. Yeah, I just don't want him to waste too much time while guys are out there. But I got a feeling Frank Reich is going to be the guy. I do. I really think it's going to be Frank. Yeah, we do have Willie Lampkin. I saw somebody say that. Sills' mom on Frank. Yeah, watch that too. Sills was asking today who the offensive coordinator is going to be, which make me think he knows. That's why I think it's Frank. I think it's Frank because I think the one thing the Eagles don't want to do is they don't want to get the problem. If you get a guy like McDaniel, The most likely scenario is he's a head coach next year again. So I would say that my top two odds, I think it's going to be Frank Reich 1 and the Ball 2. Now, does Frank Reich, would he be a good fit for Jalen? That's the question. Yeah, Nick and Frank are really good buddies. A.J. Brown would have had knocked Nick out if he don't want the wide receivers. Yeah. Buddy Ryan, Seth Joyner won dig with the Eagles. Why does everyone hold them godlike? Have you ever watched that defense, man? I mean, if you watch that defense, you would understand it. Stroud goes deep. Oh, he got him. He dropped it. Nice hit. Nice shot. He had it, and Clark made a nice hit to knock the ball out. Those Richie, man, that defense was nasty. Those guys' attitude were great. I think that, yeah, it sucked they didn't. Well, Seth did win a Super Bowl. Buddy did win a Super Bowl eventually. I mean, they won Super Bowls, just not with the Eagles. We've had success drafting linemen, second, third round, Vaitai, Dickerson, Suma. Very true. I don't know, though, if I want an offensive coordinator who's close to Nick. I would rather have an offensive coordinator that has no ties to him, and that offensive coordinator should be given. I agree. I agree that there is concerns about the relationship. Could be a problem. And I also I got to go look and see what quarterbacks, Reich had. Like, can he maximize what Jalen Hurts does? I don't want the ball with it 3,000. I agree with you. Patullo has not. Risky, thank you for super chat, my man. Because would you pick Mike Tomlin as offensive coordinator if they fire him? Not as offensive coordinator. I don't think Mike Tomlin was an offensive coordinator coach, right? Wasn't he a defensive side of the ball? Plus, he doesn't call. He has no control of the offense or the defense either. Here's a pass to Christian Kirk, first down. I just realized that the Steelers ain't been in the playoffs since 2016. We got knocked out before them. Wait, the Steelers haven't been in the playoffs since 2016? Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, he was a defensive-minded coach. I don't remember. Was he a defensive back coach with Tampa or something like that? I can't remember. He's been a head coach so long, but he doesn't have any control of the offense either. So, or defense for that matter. Mike Tomlin, position coach with the Vikings. Oh, Vikings, yeah. I love Mike Tomlin, though. Well, that's crazy. Yeah, that's a long time, man. All right. Stroud back to pass at the 45. Steps up, looks, throws. Oh, he overthrew a guy wide open. Nico Collins was wide open. You've got to have that pass back. Yeah, still has been hurt after Big Ben left, even those last couple of his careers. Yeah? Yeah, it's true. It just wow, time flies. Oh, my gosh. You got to catch that. You got to make that throw, dude. You got to make that throw. I don't know enough about him, Donnie, to be honest. I've heard the name, but I don't know enough about him. Stroud looks, throws. Incomplete. 3rd and 10 with 16 seconds left. Texans have no timeouts. Yeah, it pissed me off too. You probably already addressed it. Who would you like to win the Super Bowl? I don't really know. Like, I don't really have anybody specific. I think it would be kind of cool. Like, I could live with seeing Josh Allen win. Like, I feel like, it'd be nice to see him win. I wouldn't mind seeing a team like Texans win, like Cinderella team, as long as it's not San Francisco. That's all I care about. Notice how when Jalen didn't run even in the playoff games. What's up with that? He should have ran at least. Yeah, I was surprised he didn't run more. And then the one time he really did run, remember? They called it back on a hold. Screw the Bills. Yeah, a lot of people hate the Bills. I don't care for the coach and the whole voting against the tush push, but I like Josh Allen, though. Top 5 winning spots for A.J. Brown are Patriots, the Broncos, the Eagles could keep them, or who other teams you think? I don't know. I mean, I don't know who's going to be in the market. I can tell you this, though. What would you not take for A.J. Brown? Tomlin is a primetime example of why you don't want a CEO-style head coach. Do you want to wait another 9 years before we see the playoffs again? Well, I don't know. Nick's offense, when Nick called offense, man, it was horrible. And his style, that prevent offense, it's horrible. You would have to fire him then, I went back and watched an old Kellen Moore press conference. I'm reminiscing the good times. Yeah, right? Tomlin was a defensive coordinator in 2006 for Vikings before he hired Steelers. Haven't won playoff games since 2016. He's been in the playoffs 6 times That's crazy. He's been a long time. It's a long time. My impression of Lawrence? Dude, we're going to go out there. Cowabunga, dude. We almost beat the Bills, yo. We almost beat the Bills. But now, I'm going to have a burrito and go surf and hang 10, dude. Cowabunga. I can't do it right now. I need to see his face on screen, I'd rather have Jalen's stats. Are you talking about careers? I'd rather have Jalen Hurts' statistics and team accomplishments over Dak. Jeff the Bonehead, man, celebrates 5 months of membership, man. Shout out to you, man. Denzel MF in Washington. What is up, my man? How are you? It's good to see you, buddy. Thank you for your support. Niners own the Eagles until further notice. You'll get a chance to leave. Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to argue right now, isn't it? What can I possibly say? Not just beat us, you came into our house, unfortunately. It was between Kellen Moore and Sirianni for head coach when they hired Sirianni. Yeah, you're right. They really liked him. Was the ball consulting the Eagles at the end of the year? Is that Lawrence or a Ninja Turtle? I see Lawrence as kind of like the NFL's version of the Ninja Turtles. 49ers fan own Kevin Tool a gift for helping out. Too much Dak ball glazing in here, right? I'm with you on that. Joho says, we lost to a depleted Niners team and we was healthy as crazy. Hey, look. The Niners outcoached them. They outcoached us. Nick and Patullo got outclassed. We were outclassed, man. We got 580 people in here. Make sure you guys hit that like. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't. And also, I had trouble sleeping last night. But one thing there's a way to sleep if you're having trouble sleep. Check this out. Are you tired of being tired? You can't sleep at night. You've tried those masks that press on your eyes, slip off. They feel real cheap. Well, meet Manta Sleep Masks, the ultimate game changer for better sleep and epic naps. And this video is sponsored by Manta Sleep. It's totally adjustable, eyes cup, strap, molds perfectly to your face for a custom zero pressure fit. Super breathable, premium materials that will keep you cool and comfortable. Even me, as a side sleeper, totally comfortable. And I get 100% blackout, no light leaks, and it lets your eyes move freely. I mean, it's awesome. And you know what? Shout out to the pro nap movement, because to me, power nap beats coffee any day of the week. This mask makes napping easy, effortless. It's great. Grab yours now at manasleep.com. Use my code Philly500 for 10% off. That's Philly500 and get 10% off. And thanks for watching. Sweet dreams. Shout out to Man of Sleep for sponsoring today's video. I love that thing. I actually am starting to really understand why people wear those things. Never did before, now I do. You clip my Trevor Lawrence impression. Oh, you should see it when he's playing. I can do it much better than that. We got our ass kicked, man. Every real football fan knows the Cowboys were built by Jimmy Johnson. Jerry Jones just cut checks and uses Cowboys to print money. He is the new Al Davis. That's true. And then remember, they got rid of Jimmy Johnson and then they got Barry Switzer, and he was an idiot. And he just had such a great team. So talented. He won anyways. Remind you of anybody? Jay Prapa, why didn't you consider coach advantage before the game 500? Not even trolling. I'm done with that. No, I mean, I probably should have spoke more about it, but I felt like it was going to be more of a Vic Fangio versus Shanahan type thing. And I thought that played out, and I thought that was a good battle, and I thought they both made adjustments. But I was really surprised by the incompetence of the head coach to the level that we saw going into a playoff. So I guess I was thinking more of the matchup between Shanahan and Vic instead of Shanahan and Nick. And I think that I should have been more aware of it, you know. Philly Mike wear those things too. Man of Sleep wear. He says it is. I'm telling you, dude. My wife wears one because I always have the TV on and stuff. But I started wearing that. I'm like, this is freaking awesome. I've been wearing it. I love it. I won't sponsor anything if I don't use it. I'll never do a sponsorship if I don't use something or try it. It's just the way I am. Tortyville, thank you for Super Chat. 500. Who would win in offensive contest between Dana Bible, Mike Groh, and Kevin Patullo? Who in offensive coordinator contest? Who the hell's Dana Bible? Why don't I remember who that is? Mike Groh was pretty bad. I think Patullo's the worst. I don't remember Dana Bible. But the worst, like Groh and stuff like that, like their plan coming out in games were horrible. If you notice, the Eagles could come out every week and they look decent. Like in the first couple drives, they looked great. They were running the ball. They looked okay. It's the adjustments. He cannot make in-game adjustments at all. You know, and thank you for the Super Chat. I don't remember Dana Bible. Who you gotta remind me. If they're firing Patullo, would it be gold by now? Not necessarily. Because I just don't know if they've had a chance to meet with the coaches and stuff yet. In the past, the Eagles do that stuff on Tuesdays. Doug, I believe, was on a Tuesday or Wednesday. I think Doug was on a Tuesday, and then the meeting went bad, and I think they met again. and nobody wanted to move, and that's when they let him go. Bible under code tight. We have a Bible, we don't have Bible under code, but we don't have a prayer. I don't remember him. Kotite. Now Kotite was the offensive coordinator with the Eagles as under Buddy. I don't remember Bible that much. But I would put Bible over both those guys then. 500. You know what pissed me off about Patullo? There's so much things, but running it on 3rd and long, like, what are we doing? We're wasting it down. Yeah. You know what I hate? It's like this. It's like, okay, if the Eagles go into if they go first down and let's say they get a hold, right? So they go first down hold, they're going to throw for like 2 yards or they're going to run it. And then if it's like 2nd and 18 or something, they're going to run it. They literally give up on drives. They're not aggressive at all. You know, they're not. I mean, look at the way Shanahan throws that flea flicker out there and they score a touchdown to McCaffrey. I mean, he pulled that out. We don't have anything like that. It's crazy. If the Lions get McDaniels, they're going to be tough next year. Yeah. McDaniels in Detroit would be good. Now, I heard he's going to interview with the Browns about a head coaching job. Or no, they just hired a head coach, right? Did I just hear somebody tell me they hired a head coach? Did they hire a head coach? Is that true? Guy from college or something? I don't know. Somebody said something to me. I didn't see. What's the point of playing risk-averse offense if you can't win even when you win the turnover battle and still lose? Yeah. I agree. Yeah, Milton Williams looked good. I got to tell you, though, like, I think Moro Ojomo was fine. You know, I thought he was good this year, so I'm not worried about that. Nick Foles on his podcast had some great analysis. Sounds like he would be a great coordinator like Moore. I wonder if he's ever thought about like doing coaching. Yo, Phil, what do you think about Gannon possibly defensive coordinator in Dallas? Yeah, I'm hoping that Gannon is the defensive coordinator in Dallas. Looks like McDaniel's going to Detroit. He is going to make them scared. You know what he's going to do with Gibbs? Like to me, McDaniel's offensive coordinator in Detroit with Gibbs. Oh shit, they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough. I think the Eagles are going to get Frank Reich, and I'm not. I think Frank Reich is going to be okay, but I don't know. I was hoping for somebody a little bit more innovative. I just can't wait to see the arrogant Bears lose. Oh, you're against... Like, I don't mind seeing the Bears win, dude. Like, honestly, if they win, I'm okay with it. Apparently, Mark had a truce with the Niners. His team's so irrelevant, he don't want a truce with the Couch Boy. Yeah, I know. He loved the Niners yesterday. So, did you just invite a bunch of troll assholes to swallow the stats? What's going on here? Huh? What do you mean? Frank Wright will get hurt shit. Philly, I lost a bet with the Eagles game and had to divorce my wife. What? Dude, if you really bet whether to divorce your wife, just you got to welch on that bet, my man. No divorcing. Go make babies. Frank Reich is magical. I mean, I'm not going to cry if we get... I like Frank Reich. The great thing about Frank Reich is he ain't going to go anywhere anytime soon. So you're not losing him after a year. Andrew says, next season is the last season Hurts gets to show improvements in reading defenses. If he doesn't improve, I'm ready to move on. Well, I said this. Like, I feel like the way that they've been coached offensive coordinator-wise and coaching, like, you get a good coordinator in here, and we can do a proper evaluation on them. Laughing my ass off. Brady is offensive coordinator for the Eagles while being the owner of the Raiders, right? I didn't watch it yet, but Jason Kelsey said that it just looked like the Eagles team didn't come together. Yeah, well, look, Jason Kelsey, a lot of Philly media guys, they're not gonna attack the coaches. They're not gonna really say anything that would piss off the front office. They're just not. Would you trade backup quarterback Tanner McKee for Jalen Milroe? No. Probably not. 500, we need a spicy offensive coordinator with some balls. I agree. Your name, I love you too, man. NFC champs, wild card, Super Bowl wild card. Super Bowl again, right, Danito? That's what it is, yeah. Roll Philly Dog says, no Frank Reich. Interesting. Jordan Addison from Minnesota would be someone good for a trade for. Myles Garrett for A.J. Brown. Well, I mean, at that point, I can't. It's hard to complain. But how old is Myles Garrett? First time I heard Die Hard or heard Die Eagles Die today. Pretty funny. A lot of people were really excited about the Eagles losing. It's crazy. All right, so we start the second half. Stroud comes out and rolls out. How come they don't roll Hurts out more? You ever wonder why they don't especially early in the year when Barkley's a giant threat? Like, how come they never have Barkley run right, fake the handoff, and then bootleg left? Like, I just don't understand why they don't do simple things like roll Hurts out. I don't get it. Like, why not roll him out, let him sit, stop, set, and throw? Like, I thought he would be good at that. I like this Woody Marks. Game status. That guy calls me cute all the time. I just ignore it. Do you really think our window is still open? I can see our D getting better, but our offense is going to regress even more, especially if we lose A.J. Goddard or Lane. All our stars may be past their peak. Here's Stroud on a play action, caught, first down. I don't think their window is closed at all. I actually think their window's wide open. They got the nucleus of that team is young. They might lose a few guys, but I think the nucleus of that offense or that team is young. So no, I don't think their window is closed. I think it's got to be tweaked a little bit. Jay Lambo says, Eagles losing this early is a blessing in disguise. Same as 23 Birds will find the right offensive coordinator and be back in the mix next season for sure. Go Birds, great content. Thank you, my man. I think I agree. I saw a couple of people analysis saying the Eagles need to blow it up. No, they don't. They got a young nucleus. I think you just got to get the right coach in there, and I think you'll be fine. No pure rollouts, no quarterback waggles, nothing. They stink. The offensive coaches stink, and it hurts. Don't want to learn how to read the defense. He can go. Thank you for the Super Bowl. Yeah, I agree. If he's unwilling. But, every time I hear, Hurts is unwilling to do this or that, it's always funny to me that when they ask Hurts the question, he's like, yeah, I would do it, but they don't want me to. So it's like, I don't know what's going on, Maybe they think Jalen couldn't read the coverage. That's why they never let him roll out so he can keep his eye on the defense. I mean, if that's the case, then that's really malpractice by the coaches, because why would you stop trying to develop them? Like, At what point did they say, all right, Jalen is as developed as he can get? Like, he should still be working to get better. I don't know. It's crazy. Do I think we draft a tight end in round 2? I think we'll get a tight end in the top 3 rounds. I just don't know where. So we'll be sending the Eagles belt to a fan of this year's champion. Oh, my fantasy football champion, you mean? Or we're sending the Eagles belt to a fan of this year's? No, I don't have any belts. I had to give them back. I need to get my own. I don't see how the Eagles window is closing. I think they have one of the youngest rosters in the NFL. You just got to tweak it. Maybe Jalen only understands Pee Wee plays 500 because apparently these cats in the comments are football experts. Well, if we have a real coordinator, we'll know. You know what I mean? There's another nice run by Marks up to the 21. Godspeed. Thank you for super chat. There's no way our guys forgot how to play football since last year. KP has no business being our offensive coordinator. Next year will be bright. Thanks, 500. I agree. Here's the other thing. I've never seen, in all the years I can remember watching football, I've never seen a team look one way in one half and then look like they totally forgot how to play in the second half. I've never seen that where a quarterback doesn't even throw one completion. But he's 15 to 17 and he's looks like a Pro Bowler in the first half. I've never seen that. I've never seen it. They're taking the ball, Australia. Yeah, I mean they got what, 2 or 3 already? Robert Saleh plays his defense all night to make pass. He was forcing him to pass, and the coach's design scheme just stinks crazy. Yeah, the scheme stinks. I mean, you look at some of the routes, stinks. It's true. And if Hurts gets that ball a little bit down on Smith, he probably catches that ball. AJ drops the balls. So it's not just the coaches stink, but it's like also the not executing. I think last year we got away with stuff because we ran the ball so well. All right, 2nd and 6 for the Texans at the 16. Here's a pass. Schultz caught, gain of 2. You got another 3rd down coming up for the Texans. Texans need a touchdown here, man. Yeah, Nick's philosophy, that's exactly right. 500, the fact that this team can't move the ball in the second half. It's the strangest thing. I mean, I think of the Tampa game. All year, for 2 years we heard that Hurts can't stop the defense and the blitz that Bowles throws at him for Tampa, and that they had his number. The first half, he was 9-9. He was 15 of 17. Couldn't complete a pass in the second half. That's impossible. It's crazy. Stroud, 3rd and 4. He's looking. Stays in. Those are intercepted. Oh, what? He threw a pick. That's the 3rd turnover. Jeez. Stroud just threw a horrible pick. And you know what? I'm going to also take this second to criticize Justin Herbert. Because I know the national media ain't going to do it. But there's another guy, in my opinion, didn't show up last night. Would you eat a salmon skin taco shell? No. I don't like salmon. If we get another bruiser-back draft one, yeah, why not? Damn, he threw it bad. CJ overrated. Playoffs is crazy this year, and the Eagles blew it. Go figure. I know. Stroud stinking it up. I think Justin Herbert is Dak. I agree. Jalen regressed with Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni. Kellen Moore got a little bit from him, but needed a second year to bring him more, like Steichen did in 22. Instead, Hurts regressed more with KP. Yeah, I feel like they just stopped trying to develop him. You know, we need somebody that can maximize his talent. Devontae Smith, if you give him a competent offensive coordinator, he's going to put up mind-boggling stats. To me, he's so underrated for the stats he puts up in the numbers. He should be way higher. Dagger, thank you for the super chat, my man. Philly, you're reading comments from guys who are slandering Jalen in favor of Kevin Patullo, a guy who has never been coordinator at any level. Let that sink in before you listen to these guys. I do my best, Dagger, to try to get everybody. I'm not reading the comments. I have a problem, actually. One of my problems is I click on it before I read the comments, and it gets me in trouble sometimes. I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to catch the comments as they go by. You know? I don't know. I mean, I don't know who's slandering Jalen, but I don't think I read anybody slandering him. If I missed that, I don't know. I like Hurts, and I think Hurts. I still think he's a guy that can win you big games, and he needs somebody that could bring the most out of him. This is why Stroud can't be trusted. Reminds me of Love with them head-scratching throws. Yeah. He hung in the pocket. Oh, man. He was late. All right, so the Steelers take over. See if Aaron Rodgers could get something going, though. Metcalf has been pretty quiet. No, I didn't hear what Shady said. Remember the epic collapse? It was the defense, not the offense, when they fired Brian Johnson. It's funny. Yeah, Brian Johnson was a scapegoat. But they didn't fire Brian Johnson, remember? They fired the defensive coordinator. Here's a handoff, Warren. Don't compare Herbert to Dak. Herbert has been labeled as the golden boy since he was picked. Dak was a fourth-round pick. If you want to say playoffs, okay, but you can't put a lot of quarterbacks in that. Yeah, you can. Here, I'm going to tell you why you can, Mark Smith. I would agree with you. As a rookie, you can't do it. It's not fair. But once Dak signs the contract, and once he's the highest paid player in the league and all that, as soon as that happens, you are now on that level. And you can't be looked at as a fourth rounder anymore. You are now a franchise quarterback. So, no, you have to hold Dak accountable like that. I think you have to. And I'll argue that Dak, from all the things I hear from Cowboy fans, he's the golden boy too. I don't see it any different. But once you get paid that money, it's a whole different ballgame. Who's trading? No. Why would anybody trade Hurts? So that makes no sense. That's not even a discussion. I think if you want to fairly evaluate Hurts, get a good coordinator here, and then let's see. To me, it's so hard to evaluate with the coaching staff they had. It's so bad. Nothing. The fans are starting to get pissed off in this game because the Pittsburgh can't move the ball either. Hurts haven't had a fair deal. Different coordinators almost every season. How's he supposed to get better? I agree. No, I agree with that. I don't know why anybody would want to trade Hurts. For what? Just give him a good coordinator and let's see what he does. I just think you can't evaluate these guys with this coordinator. As Rodgers look, throws, caught at the 15, third down coming up. When do we know if it was Jalen Hurts and the offensive coordinator? Well, I can tell you, I can already tell you it was the offensive coordinator. Now, you want to see what level Jalen Hurts can get and where he can go, you got to give him a good offensive coordinator. Give him a good offensive coordinator for a year or two, and let's see. But this coordinator here was horrible. Third and 9. Rodgers looks, throws, caught. There you go. First down at the 27. They needed that big time. Look at what Hurts did with Steichen. He was runner-up MVP to Mahomes. Agreed. I watched Hurts do everything in his power. Of course, you checked out when he didn't get an equal amount of effort from the coaching. What do you want? I think it's fair. If Hurts gets a good offensive coordinator, I think things will. I think and the coordinator doesn't have to run Nick shit. Then we'll find out. With this coordinator, with this coach, he posed to be an offensive guy. All on Howie. Got to give a little take a little Howie. Don't want to give nothing. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Hurts with Shane worked because he ran all the time. Well, I do. One thing I do believe is that I know that he wants to be more of a pocket passer, but you can't take that. You can't take the threat of your running out. I mean, you don't have to do as much, but you got to keep it a threat. Here's Rodgers getting pressed, looks, throws, incomplete. You know, one thing with Hurts, you know, when he's not like when he's like his bad habits are coming out. When he doesn't stay in the pocket and he starts running right, it's like 80% of the time the play's gonna die. And to me, that's because he's not being coached well enough to keep him in the pocket. That's one thing Frank Reich, I think, will knock out. We do have the issue of whether offensive coordinator candidates will want to be under our front office with the Eagles analytic foot. Yeah, that's true. 500. I'm curious though. 5 turnovers Jalen threw in that Chargers game, was it him or KP? It was him. Rodgers goes, oh man, no call. Wow, he tackled him. No, I think Hurts had a really bad game versus the Chargers. I think that was a really bad game. Nick, thank you for super chat. You see dumbass Kelsey call Patullo a great coach? He's going to toe the line. You know, he is. If they ban the tush push, then the new offense has a total control. You think so? Because that's all Nick has? Well, what about the prevent offense in the second half? Hurts wins in spite of the coaching like the rest of the offense. We haven't seen a team with a good coach. They were dominant. That's what I think too. I just want to see a brand new offense, but Nick no control, and then let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. If Hurts continues to struggle, and a new offensive coordinator comes in and he has to like go back and almost do what we're doing now because of Jalen, I'll fully say it, but I don't believe that's the case. I believe it's the coaching. Look, Hurts has his flaws as a quarterback. Every quarterback does, I guess. At the end of the day, is like, he didn't win this last game, but I know in the playoffs, I know in the Super Bowl, I know he's going to be there. And that's got to count for something. Hurts has approved with a good offensive career, he's elite. If the Eagles got rid of Sirianni, do you think he'd be the most sought-after head coach? No. I don't think he would. I don't think he would be more sought after than Harbaugh. It would be interesting though. Eagles dynasty. I'm curious how teams would react to him. Like, would they look at his winning record and say, "Man, he wins too much as a head coach. We got to get him," or would they say, he was a product of talent? I don't know how they would see him. Philly, I comment watching football after that draft. Who after what? You can't watch football? Rebuilt the coaching, brand new. Yeah, I mean, totally brand new offense. Like, you got to get away from Nick and what he wants to do. Remember, Nick gave up play control, but when Steichen left, even though he wasn't calling plays, even under Kellen Moore, Nick, and you could go back to the press conference, he goes, "This is my offense, and Kellen's going to run it. And he's going to bring elements of what he does into it." It wasn't even Kellen Moore's complete offense. What Moore could do that was successful for the Eagles was he could adjust in game. This guy can't. How does Moore get the last laugh? How could that be possible? His team is not even in the playoffs. I just won a Super Bowl last year. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm so far ahead that I don't know what last laugh he could have. His team was out. When your team's out of it, how are you going to laugh? People need to stop pretending like he wouldn't have 250 yards without those drops. Didn't Jalen did more than enough? I agree. I agree. I don't put any of the blame on Jalen last night. I don't. I don't at all. I mean, I watched that 4th down and 11. You look at it, there's nothing there. I mean, the routes are ridiculous. I agree. But I can tell you this, when Jalen's uncomfortable with what the offense is doing, he bails to the right early, even if the pocket is still there. And that's a habit that Steichen got him to stop. Moore got him to stop, but it resurfaced under Sirianni, and then it resurfaced with Patullo. Kevin Patullo's new Rich Kotite. Rich Kotite was a better offensive coordinator. Like, Rich Kotite was a good enough offensive coordinator to get a head coaching job. And I don't believe any. You see these rumors where it's like the Giants are interested in Patullo? I don't believe it. All right, let's see what Houston could do. 2nd and 10, Stroud going to get hit. Tackle. If the Steelers, their offense could move the ball, geez. I can't believe this third quarter's flying. Prime example of Jalen Knight refused to blame for it. I think I feel like I blame him when it's right. I mean, I'm watching this guy here. He's got how many turnovers? Purdy yesterday, how many turnovers? Give Jalen a good coach, and then let's see. Let's see. If he screws up, I'll be with you. And it's not all on good. Jalen does make mistakes. I'm not going to say he doesn't. 500, just seen Acho talk about the 4th down play, the most crucial, just simple 4 vertical routes against cover 4. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, really, the only thing Jalen could have done is throw it up to AJ and hope he comes down with it. That's probably what he should have done with it. All right, Pittsburgh's going to take over. 3:42 left. Todd or Mike McDonald? You mean McDaniel, you mean? I like McDaniel. Yeah, we called a timeout for that 4th down. And did you see the way Hurts was talking? Like, I don't think he liked the call. That's why they interview coaches like that to steal all the ideas because Nick doesn't have any. He did. He had single cover. And that's probably, if you want to criticize Jalen on that play, probably where he should have went. Probably should have just thrown it up one-on-one to AJ, who, was having a horrible game and had dropped 2 big, huge passes in the game. So, I don't know. Radface says, breaking news, Eagles are interested in Frank Reich. Yep, not surprised. I'm telling you, my feelings are that Frank Reich will be I think Frank Reich is most likely the guy that the Eagles are going to hire. I'm like 90% sure. I believe Frank Reich it's his job if he wants it. Now, I do have questions about Frank Reich coming to Philly with Jalen Hurts and stuff. Like, does he know what to do and how is he good with dual threat quarterbacks, So we'll see. But Frank Reich, in terms of like in-game adjustments and things like that, he's a pretty smart guy. So I'm not going to – it's such a huge improvement if they hire him. I like some of the older ones. The last one I really liked was the Spider-Man one. I thought that was good. I'll watch Doomsday when it comes out. People were saying that instead of taking the time out, they should have took a delay of game. And if you didn't get it, you still would have had 3 timeouts and possibly got the ball back. Huh. So instead of being 4th and 11, go to 4th and 16. The problem with that is that the Eagles can't convert. They could barely convert on a 3rd and 5. I don't think you could do that. Well, you had trust that AJ had that. He probably was jogging. Yeah, I know. I know. I get it. Rodgers back to pass, play action, look, throws, caught, up at the 45. Romero says, Rome Robinson, my man. He says, I've been saying since his rookie year, Hurts must evolve in manipulating the pocket and being more poised when crowded. It would literally make him MVP. I agree. And that's one of his bad habits he's always got to consistently watch out for, is that bailing out too early. Yeah, I agree. But I think a good coach, if you remember Hurts, when Wentz was with us, he had some bad habits too. And Frank really focused on like the little things. Like from what I remember, like he was very, very important on the footwork and things like that. Like Wentz had some bad habits too that Frank got rid of, and as soon as Frank left, all the bad habits came back. He'll do a job with those detailed things with Hurts. Frank would be a good pick. The only problem with Frank that I worry about is that Nick has some sort of say in the offense. You want somebody who uses more motion than Reich? I get it. Rodgers looks, throws. What did you really want this season? You wanted Jahan Dodson to be used more. You think he really was being used this season? I just think they give Dodson a route and doesn't know how to run. I wanted to see them use the 3rd receiver. Yeah, and they didn't. I agree. Probably wouldn't have. Yeah, I don't know a lot about him, but I like McDaniel. He's a hot name out there, so we'll see. Rodgers back to pass. Oh, he hit fumble. Recover. Oh, Rodgers is hurt. He's getting up. Yeah, I think Rodgers done. I think he's too old. Jalen looked good under Steichen 21-22. Showed signs of progress in manipulated pocket, but that seems like so long ago. Yeah, I think the right coach will bring that back out in him, though, you know. I think a little bit of both. A little bit of both. I mean, the Steelers have gotten huge turnovers and have only been able to get 3 points out of that. And there's only a minute 29 left in the third quarter. That's crazy. Let me get my... Detroit interviewing him, Tom. Who's Detroit interviewing? Are you talking about McDaniel? I think the schedule is favorable. I mean, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember looking at it going, we could run this. Mr. Rodgers. Would I take Rodgers? Not now. No. I think that you got to extend Jalen Carter, and I think you've got to sign Jordan Davis. I think Jordan Davis has to be signed. I will pick up Nolan Smith's option year, but I wouldn't sign him. And I'm probably going to let Jalen. I'm leaning towards letting Phillips walk, unless he's under 30 million. If he's under 30 million, I'll sign him. But if he's more than that, no. I would like, and I don't know if they'll do it, I would like to see Nakobe Dean come back. I'll let Jahan Dotson walk. I think Darius Cooper is going to be my third down, my number 3. I wouldn't get rid of Jake Elliott, but I would bring in competition. I'm trying to think who else is a free agent. Who else is a free agent? What's up, 500? Stefanski is new head coach and McDaniel's Cliff offensive coordinator. Yes, Stefanski is a hot name. You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't think the Eagles, like I said, I don't think the Eagles are getting a new coach. I think they're getting a new offensive coordinator. Wait, Philly, how's Jihad leaving? He's not. No, Jihad's not leaving. I don't think I said Jihad's leaving. If I did, it was an error. Jake has to go. I think you need competition, you know. Oh, Goddard. Goddard is if I could sign Goddard, I want to bring him back, but I just don't know if they will with his age, you know. Face of Philly, Jalen Hurts is just a game manager, quarterback, nothing special. I don't care what you call him. If he goes out there and wins me Super Bowls, man, I'd rather have a guy that wins me Super Bowls than a guy that puts up stats in the regular season and then chokes. I'm just being honest. So be it. Everybody makes that name, game manager, like sound bad. But if you're winning, man, I don't care. Be whatever you have to be. I don't think he's that, but I don't care. I love when Cowboy fans tell me, oh, he's a game manager. Okay, but your guy's a choker. I'd rather have the game manager who wins. Face it, Phil. Yeah. Another bad habit by Hurts, you can tell clearly watching the game. Linebackers read Jalen's eyes. He easily has to look defenders off better. Yeah, and I think some of that is because I really believe that some of these like play designs and stuff are like, all right, here's the route, but you're going to this guy. Like I think like they told him throw to Goddard. I really do. I think he had to throw to Goddard. That was the play. That's why he threw it in triple coverage. That's right. Blankenship's a free agent. A fumble. Stroud gets it back. That's like number 4. I would sign. I mean, I'd probably bring Blankenship back because I don't think he's going to be a lot of money. But I would try to improve my safety. I want Vic personality coach for offensive coordinator. What was the Eagles' best game this season? Complete game we had a complete game. But what was the best game you think this season? Was it the Rams game? Probably a second Giants game. Oh, no, Minnesota game. Stroud goes deep. He's got a man. Caught. Christian Kirk. That's a big throw. Gigantic throw by Stroud. It has to be that Minnesota game, in my opinion. Dagger, thank you for the super chat. I like Cooper, but we need a legit low 4.3 speed on the offense. So you think we need a faster offensive or a faster slot receiver? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I understand why people want speed there. I get it. I like the kid though, man. I think he's a player. If I said Campbell, then that was an error. I think it's going to be hard to sign him. Yeah, that punter was good. If he's a free agent, man needs to come back. Phillips and Blankenship are free agents. I think Blankenship could come back pretty cheap. I don't think he's going to break the bank. So I think you'll get Blankenship back. As far as Phillips, I think it depends on the money. Like, I'm not giving Phillips $30-something million. I'm just not. I'd rather go trade for Myles Garrett or Max Crosby and pay those guys. If I'm going to pay that kind of money, but I'm not paying Phillips that kind of money. I just don't think you can afford to let Jordan Davis walk. And I don't think you can afford to let Jalen Carter walk. BC Nick says, I don't understand a lot. Yeah, everybody loves Stefanski. I mean, look, I know he was a hot name when he went to Cleveland stuff, but he didn't do anything in Cleveland. But he's a good offensive coordinator. Did you guys see Joe Theismann shut Cilio up about Jalen? Cilio said Jalen's limited. He asked him where. Theismann said Jalen was a good quarterback, and what quarterback doesn't have issues? Yeah. I never watched that whole thing, but, I mean, people told me about it, and I agree with Theismann. Dotson's most likely gone. Can't see us. No, I don't think he's signing back with us either. I think Jahan Dotson will go somewhere and be a number 2 receiver. Yeah, he does, Toryville. That's true. How much is it to keep Dotson? I don't know. I think the issue is going to be that Dotson's going to get opportunity to be a number 2 somewhere. And I think he's going to take it. I also think that I think Darius Cooper is going to continue to develop and be a good player. Well, historically, I mean, you've seen a lot of tight ends play in the 30s. So I think Goddard got a few years left. No question about it. If you sign him to a 2 or 3 year deal, the problem is for Goddard is you want to maximize your value because this is probably his last big contract in his career. So that's the issue. All right. 1st and 10, start of the 4th quarter. Flag. Carlton Herrera is a free agent. Is he? Goddard not aging like Zach Ertz. No. Goddard has never played full seasons anyways. Whether you keep Goddard or not, you need to get another tight end. Game manager, yeah. People act like it's they always act like it means something like he's not a good like a quarterback who's a game manager is not a good quarterback. I don't see it like that, man. Every quarterback's a game manager. What I care about is, can you win the big games in the big time when you get a chance? Can you win more of those than you lose? I know Hurts can do that. I know he can do that. Yeah, Goddard did. Yeah, Goddard was. I thought this was Goddard's best year. Cooper, baby, AJ in the works. Yeah, that's what they call him. AJ will eventually out of the NFL. No team's going to want to hire headaches. He will be like Terrell Owens or Brandon Marshall. Hopefully it's not that bad, you know. I would extend Goddard and draft a developmental tight end in the third round. I agree. Now, isn't Pitts a free agent? Stroud looks, throws, caught up at the 35 to Kirk. I like Christian Kirk a lot. I agree. Well, I agree with you. I think Hurts has to run too. And I think that he has to use, well, he doesn't have to run a ton, but it has to be a threat. And it's funny because everybody says, well, Hurts doesn't want to run. Then they ask Hurts, and he's like, well, they told me not to. He's like, he makes it sound like they don't want him to run. So I don't know what to think. I'm okay with the right offensive coordinator as long as Nick is no point power in the offense. I agree. 100% agree. Stroud looks, throws, incomplete. Pitts is an interesting name. I just don't think he's a good blocker. That's the problem with him. What I love about Goddard is he can block. Calcaterra's got to go. He stinks. So Shady sat there and Lyon Cameron said players in the locker room told him the offense is so basic because Jalen can't read defenses and wants basic, simple offense. No player said that. It's hard for me to imagine a player said that, but if that's what he's claiming, I don't know. The only way that we're going to know that, here's a field goal attempt, a 51-yarder. Good. The only way we're going to know all that is you got to get a competent coach. Yeah, Pitt's interesting to me. No, he can't block. But either can Calcaterra. But I just wonder if you got a really good offensive coordinator, like, could he be used in a certain way? You know what I mean? I think we should see Darren Washington from Pittsburgh. He's super underrated, would be huge in the run game. I think, oh yeah, he's awesome. I like him too, but would they be interested in moving him? Yeah, Calcaterra has to go. So we were saying Hurts said they don't want him. Can we check out? Yeah, you can find it. You just have to go. I mean, I don't know which press conference or interview it was, but they've asked him a few times about why not running, and he doesn't say, "Oh, I don't want to run." He says, "They don't want me to run. I can't run." That's not what they called. I mean, he says it. It's there. You can find it. Hurts throw the ball away, shake him out, don't run. Hurts does that. See, to me, that's coaching. That's the prevent offense. When the Eagles are up, 10 points, 10-0, 13-0, or 13-6, that's when they tell Hurts, all right, if it's not there, don't just throw it away. Don't run. Don't take any chances. Just throw it away. I really believe that's what they tell him to do. I really believe it. Phil, you think we could be a 3-time? Yeah, of course. Dogfight tonight, yeah. Hurts is the quarterback Philly didn't ask for, and because of this, he's nitpicked and lied on by people. People are lying about him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what McCoy said. I don't know what Shady said. I don't. You know, McNabb used to run. McNabb was good at throwing on the run. I could dig it, Philly. I don't give a damn if you do valet parking in the offseason. If you could win Super Bowls, you're my guy. Call it what you want, game manager or whatever. Season stats are mediocre. I agree. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. That's how I feel. I don't care about that. If you're winning Super Bowls, you know, That's all I care about. Winning the big games. Win more of those big games than lose. Here's why I have a lot of teams look at him. He has tools to be a good tight end, just as they didn't use them. I agree. I mean, he can't block. Goddard can't block. Blew Saquon up behind the line of scrimmage twice last night. And all year, we need a whole new tight end room. Look at the Rams, 49ers, Lions. Yeah, they got great tight ends. I really like their tight ends. But, I mean, in previous years, Goddard's been a pretty good blocker. Calcaterra hasn't. This year, I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of everything in terms of the blocking. There's a nice run to Gainwell, who's going to get 12 yards. James doing something that Cam thought he was supposed to do, right? I don't know who my Super Bowl pick. My Super Bowl pick was the Eagles and the Bills. I still feel like the Bills are going to go. I'm going to say Bills, Chicago. How crazy would that be? I think the Bears are going to beat the Rams this week. I do. Rodgers looking, throws deep. Also, did he get it? Did he catch it? He bobbled it. Did he catch it? RJ says, Philly, Jalen is not the guy. I want him gone this week. Let's sign Ryan Tannehill or Malik Willis. I'm 1,000% out on Jalen. AJ dropped those balls because Hurts isn't accurate. I'll take Kyler Murray. All right. I like it. I don't, but I get it. I'm a Bears fan this week. Bears, at least that offense is fun to watch. I'll give you that, Gainwell loses a couple yards. I think the winner of the Rams Bear game is. I think that's who's going to the Super Bowl in the NFC. I still think that the Seahawks are going to get booed, but I do think they'll beat the Niners again. I'm rooting for Seattle this week too. Rodgers fumbled, and the Texans pick it up and run it in. Was that play not dead? How's that play not dead? Rodgers got hit, went down. The ball was out, but I don't know. I thought he was down. Wow. I want to see this again. Rodgers looks dead. I don't know how he's like that. That's crazy. This is one thing the Eagles didn't do good yesterday. They did not get enough pressure on Purdy. Those edge rushers were non-existent. Oh, wow. Strip. Oh, yeah, that's a live ball. That ball was sitting there. He picked it up. Holy shit. Oh, yeah. Is that Will Anderson? Rankin's just standing up. He just picks it up. Oh, wow. Kick is up and good. Pittsburgh is in trouble. Will Anderson, stud. Will Anderson was the only guy. Him and Carter were the top two guys in that draft. What do you think the very first move of Howie and Lurie? Because we haven't heard anything. Oh, it's going to be the coordinator. It'll be firing coaches. That's a fumble, no doubt. I think the Super Bowl will be Bills-Rams. And the national championship winner will be Indiana. What are your thoughts? Well, Indiana is really good, right? And they're the favorite. I kind of am a Miami fan, so I'll be rooting for Miami. But I think you're probably right. It seems like everybody's picking Indiana. Bills, I think this has got to be Josh Allen's time. And I think the winner of the Bears game, I think that's who's coming out of the NFC. So, yeah, I kind of think that what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Texans are the best football team in Texas. I kind of like what you're saying, man. Yeah, that kind of bothers Dallas fans, knowing that their team's not as good as the Texans. I kind of get it. Palantir says, bringing Frank Reich, we need an adult in the room, really make you question what Sirianni brings whenever a coordinator needs to be adult. I hear you. I think he's going to be. If I had a bet, I think Frank Reich would be the guy. Yeah, Will Anderson, Alabama. If we trade AJ, we say we drink Denzel Baltimore, he's 6'4", 4'5". We'll be watching all those guys in the in the combine in another month. 1st and 10 to 33. Pittsburgh's in trouble. Rodgers throws the tight end incomplete. They were. No, just the edge rushers. I mean, they got some pressure when they brought extra guys, but like Nolan Smith had a very disappointing season to me. And even Jalen Hunt was non-existent yesterday. I thought Jordan Davis played good, and I thought Carter played good. But the edge rushers did nothing. Jalen Phillips, where was he? Rodgers dumped. All Rodgers can do is dump it. John, thank you for Super Chat. Pause. No Diddy. Market Sills rubbing baby oil on Dak and Steve Island Wednesday. Too much glaze, and be careful, Philly. Be a love fest as they bash us. I know. Very nice catch. You're right about that, man. You're right about that. Dagger, thank you for Super Chat. The Steelers tight end Darnell, big body blocker we need. I like him. You think they would trade him, though? Hurts needs an offensive coordinator to blame because he stinks. I don't know. I don't think Hurts stinks. I just don't know how you go to 2 Super Bowls, you play your best games of your career in those 2 biggest moments, and you win one, and then you say the guy stinks. I don't think that stinks at all. Who are you going to tell me is better? Guys that don't win? Rodgers is done, dude. He looks so old. Rocky Davis Super Chat. I don't care to resign Phillips. I'm open to resigning Phillips because I know Vic loves him. To me, it's just a matter of what, What are you going to get for him? That's to me, or what's he going to cost? Like, if anything over 30, anything 30 or up, I'm out. If he's like 25, 26 million, all right. Rodgers looks. Pump, throws, incomplete. Jeez. Yeah, Rodgers looks old, man. Might as well root for the Bears. They're all Eagles. I think they're sitting. Yeah, it's true. Joe Brady's an interesting name. I kind of like Joe Brady. All right, you have to ask Mark if the Texans are now Texans team. All right, I will. Yeah, Milt Williams was a beast last night. No question. Rodgers looks, throws, incomplete. He got deflected. So I was at a bar yesterday and got so mad I actually elbowed a girl in the back. Oh, no. Was she okay? NFC East, Dallas going to win next year full off season with their defense. We don't have next year with them 2 first-round picks. You guys think Dallas is laughing stock now? Wait till next year. Dude, for 30 years I've been hearing that. Every year. Yeah, it's great. You have 2 first-round picks. That's great. But you got to go pick the right guy. So we'll see. And you got to think that if you're Dallas, because if you don't win now, you're young, you're done. Your quarterback, his window is closing quick. Eagles would have to overpay for Phillips, and I don't think it would be worth the cost. Yeah, I agree. Dallas Cooney says, they saying Hurts stinks. They don't know football. They never played past Pop Warner. Yeah. Trent Williams, Trent Williams is a great player. They're being held, so they call 1 penalty. Yeah, look, I know. I'm trying not to complain about that on purpose. Because every time I say anything about that, then I get a flood of comments. But, yeah, it was kind of crazy that there was only 1 penalty the whole game. That's crazy work. And I thought that the go-ahead touchdown, I thought Nolan Smith got held, but it is what it is. Jomo has done a nice job replacing Milton. Oh, he has. He really has. He is further along in year 3 than Milton was. He will get paid too. I would consider keeping him because he's bigger than Milton. He could hold up. Yeah, well, he's got another year also. So he's signed for next year. I just think when you look at Jordan Davis and you look at how good he was, and then you hear him and how, like, did you hear Jordan Davis? Like, he talked about Dean and he talked about some stuff yesterday, but he was like, I just want to get better. I want to get better. I can't wait to work to get better. Like, I think Jordan Davis is only going to get better. And I think that the Eagles' strength on that defense has got to be Jordan Davis and Carter. Like, I think you have to sign both those guys. I think Jordan Davis is a leader in that locker room. I think he kind of is the Brandon Graham to the young Eagles now. Texans going to Super Bowl. So Texans win this game, right? They got to go to New England. Now, if they beat New England, I'll agree with you. They got to go beat New England. I'm like you can't. Stroud's got to be better. He's got to be better. Stroud's got to be better. So we got Buffalo, Denver Saturday. We got Seahawks, Niners Saturday. We'll be streaming that. And then you got Rams, Bears Sunday, and then Patriots Sunday against whoever wins. Can't wait for the Niners to get crushed next week. Sorry, I just can't. Oh, I'm rooting for Seattle too. I'm with you on that. I see why they out this game Monday night is trash. Vic turned David into a beast with his coaching. Well, look, Vic is a great coach. Clint Hurt, the defensive line coach, does a great job. Hope he stays. But, I mean, Jordan Davis got himself conditioned and in shape. And, man, he really is something, isn't he? I live in Pittsburgh. This might be a lot of call off out of works tomorrow. Yeah, I bet. I mean, they're down 17-6. They can't move the ball. Oh, I'll be rooting for the Texans, too. I will because I like D'Amico Ryans. I love D'Amico Ryans. Remember when he was an Eagle? Stream the national championship game. What day is that? Is that Thursday? I might stream that. That might be fun. I like Miami. That's really my favorite college football team. My cousin got me to be a Miami fan. He was a huge Miami Hurricanes fan. He loved Jerome Brown. He liked Cilio too. I think he would probably think it's crazy. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a long time. He's been out of country, but man, he would probably be like thrilled that I was talking to Cilio. Stroud looked like he was bound to be a top quarterback. Same with Daniels. Daniels had a rough year, even after he was playing. Just never know. Quarterback. Yeah, It takes a while. Because teams see you one time, then they adjust. And then it's, once the defenses around the league adjust, can you adjust? That's what it comes down to. Here's a handoff to Chubbs to the 30. Texans, Broncos, Seahawks versus Rams. Could be. You could be right. I think that would, I feel like Josh Allen's got to be thinking, man, this has got to be my year. Cause I'm a Michael Irvin fan. No. I just grew up dying for Jerome Brown to come to Philly. I just can't believe we're out, man. I thought we were going to another Super Bowl. Why can't see things are working mid? Just make a change off his quarter. Wasted Russell. I hear you. What a play. Throw to Christian Kirk. I like Christian Kirk. Down to the 35. This game's over. You might be right. You might be right. I can't wait to watch those games. It's going to be interesting. Why does Howie not draft premier players? He's always drafting random players from out of nowhere. I don't think that's the case. I mean, if you look at these last several drafts, I think he's drafted premier players. I think everybody knew who Devontae Smith was. Everybody knew who Jalen Carter was. Everybody knew who Jordan Davis was. Everybody knew who even Nakobe Dean was. I mean, those were not random guys. So what do you think about Shady saying people in the organization told him Jalen is not throwing up the middle? He wants to. Yeah, I haven't seen it myself, so I can't really comment. But I don't know how much I buy into all of it, Pack it up, it's over. I think the only way to know that, if it's true, is we're gonna have to see Jalen Hurts with a really good offensive coordinator, and then let's find out. Here's a handoff. Chubb gonna get to the 30. They're just running clock. Gonna kick another field goal. Texans ain't beating Denver. So you had Denver and the Rams. Was that who you had coming out? Or you had Denver, I forget. Who do you think's going to Super Bowl? You think Denver wins the whole thing? Yeah, Shane had a decent run game. He had a great run game this year with the Colts. Third and 3. Here's another handoff. Chubb right up the middle. They can't stop him. Oh, flag. They're going to call flag. Well, but the good thing about that, Tim, is we can properly evaluate him. Penalty on the Steelers. Penalty decline. First down. So what do you think about firing Nick, giving head coach a job to Vic and bring? I don't think Vic Fangio wants to be a head coach, so he wouldn't take it. If I was to fire Nick, I would hire Jim Harbaugh. That would be who I hire right away. I wouldn't waste a second. I would hire Jim Harbaugh right away if I was to fire Nick. And the only way I would fire Nick, here's Chubb going to lose a yard. The only way I would fire Nick is if he refuses to give up control of the offense. For our thoughts on the Giants if they get Harbaugh, sounds like he's a big favorite there. Unfortunately, to me, it seems like the Giants could have the Bears-Patriots rebound. They have talent. It would be a good hire for them, but we have to see what they're going to do in the draft and building the team, because how many times have they picked in the top 10 in the last 10 years and done really nothing with it? So it's one step in the right direction, but we'll see. I have a feeling he's going to end up in Green Bay. It's crazy. I felt that about the Eagles back in the day. We never had a premier wide receiver until we got Terrell Owens, and then now AJ. Yeah, and then people want to get rid of him, and we go back to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I'm not ready to do it. Personal foul, Steelers, half the distance a goal. This game's over. Steelers are done, dude. They kicked the Steelers' ass, dude. Will Rodgers retire? That's the question. Is Rodgers going to retire in this, or is he going to stay? Could be, yeah. Rodgers looks old. They are. I think Rodgers is done. He looked done tonight. I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. That's number one priority. You've got to get a good offensive coordinator in here, like pronto. He don't call plays though. That's his offensive coordinator. I don't think he calls. I don't think he controls his offense, defense. Marks, touchdown. That's it. Game over. This is the only blowout this weekend. This game's over. Now, if Stroud can clean up the turnovers, they could do damage in the playoffs. Stroud's got to clean it up. If he could clean it up, if Stroud could clean it up with Chubbs running and Marks, they could do damage. Texans are able to beat the Bills if they can pull beat. I agree. AJ was never wrong. They told him to quiet and why he didn't talk to media because it felt. Yeah, I agree. D-line is incredible. It is. Man, our defense is good, but the Texas defense condition is off the charts. I like this. I like their style. They're aggressive, man. I wonder if they'll get rid of Tomlin. Red Mafia Gaming, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Philly, what are your qualifications to be offensive coordinator in Philly? Do you feel like you have a better qualification? Do you feel like I have better qualifications than Patullo? I know how to play call Madden at least. If you can play call Madden, you're probably more qualified. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the super chat. That's funny. For her, I've been completely honest. Even if we fire Nick and get Jim Harbaugh, I feel like we'd be the last team to interview him because the teams are interviewing really need a head coach. I agree. I mean, I don't think they're going to fire Nick, but you have to remember one thing in the Eagles' favor is he comes from Philly. I mean, he was with the Eagles before he went to Baltimore. Good point, Philly. I thought I read Packers trying to extend their coach. I hope you're right. Harbaugh would be a good hire for the Giants. Keep him out of NFC East. He would be a good pick. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I heard rumors that the Packers may be interested. If they get rid of their coach, I could see that. Did you all hear Donovan? No, I didn't hear that. That's crazy. They made it the phone. Yeah, that's true. Rodgers throws batted down. Big Mike says, "Find a good night, brother. Catch you in the next time. God bless." All right, my man. I'll be live tomorrow for the season finale of Hard Knocks. That's going to be a tough watch, but that's the next thing I'll have out. I probably won't have a video out tomorrow during the day. I'm busy as hell. But I'll be doing the Hard Knocks tomorrow night. Rodgers dumps it off to Gainwell, dropped it. For Rodgers, Houston represented, yeah. All Pennsylvania teams are going to Cancun. Yeah. I think if we let Dean go, things won't be there the same. Did you see Davis' reaction when he thought about it? Yeah, he doesn't want him to go. I mean, but Davis is a stud regardless whether he goes or not. But he doesn't want him to go. Rod goes, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, my man. Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be on around, about 8:30. I'm going to try to come on a half hour, 40 minutes before the show so we can talk Eagles and whatever happened. Ain't going anywhere, boys. We ain't eating that. I agree, Cool Cat. I'm with you, Cool Cat. Shout out to Cool Cat. I agree, man. Howie's going to everyone. Hope all is well. Yep. How's it going, everyone? Hope all is well. Oh, I thought you said Howie's going. You would let go of Blankenship? I would try to retain him because I don't think he's going to be expensive, but I'd still look to upgrade the safety position. Intercepted. Wow. Bullock all the way down to the 10. He's still on his feet. Touchdown. Rodgers tried to tackle. Dude, you want to talk about a team quitting? That Steelers offense, they didn't try to tackle him. That was a half-ass measure. 30-6. What a beating. 51-yard INT pick six. Wow. I thought the effort by the Steelers to even try to tackle him, but Rodgers. Rodgers was the only guy that really tried, as far as I'm concerned. 19 lame-ass effort. Rodgers did what he could. Offensive lineman didn't try. It's half-assed. You want to talk about team quit? Boom. What a beating. They kicked it. This is the only blowout this weekend. I hope so. Well, that's going to be a hell of a game next week, man. Dude, you got some good games next week. Bills-Broncos is going to be great. Outside, cold weather. I love it. New England, Texans, outside, cold weather. I love it. The Chicago game, outside, cold weather. I love it. And then what was the other game? The Seahawks game. That's the only game. I mean, I want them to kick 49ers' ass, but that's probably the game I least want to watch. I love outside games in the playoffs in the cold. There's just nothing like it. One of those games, I hope it snows. Of course, owner. Dude, I thought that was Philip Seymour Hoffman. I said, I didn't know he was reborn. I hope they don't sign Blankenship or Phillips or Nolan. Yeah, I think the Seahawks will win that game too. They missed it. They missed the extra point. If Stroud can clean up the turnovers, it's going to be interesting next week. Don't worry, 49ers are done. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Phil, just popped on to give you I can't watch NFL anymore. Almost every game this year felt like the refs put their thumb on the scale and yeah, I hear you, Eric. Well, I appreciate the man. Thank you for the support, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, Broncos versus Bills, cold weather. It's in Denver, right? That's cold this time of year, man. Could be snowing out there. Every game is an outdoor cold weather game. Except for the Seahawks. I don't know how cold it is there. Maybe it's rainy, but yeah, I would assume he's probably going to decide. We will miss cigar nights and your wife told me, well, yeah, I hear you. Mark's asleep on stream. It's a good defense. I think that game next week is going to be very interesting. I'm thinking the Bills-Rams Super Bowl, and Josh comes up short again. Oh, man. I hope it's Bills-Rams and we win. Bills, Pats, Rams, Seattle, Final Four. Mm. No, I didn't notice it. Do you mean Devontae? No. That was the first time in history the kicker let no block and miss. Oh, yeah. By the way, I didn't say it. The extra point he kicked it went under the crossbar, and it wasn't blocked. I don't understand what the owner and Howie see in Sirianni. He got a ring from Moore, Fangio, and a roster. He's useless. He's a yes man. I mean, first and foremost, he doesn't challenge them. He does whatever they want. That's the first thing. Yeah, this could be Tom. This could be Tomlin's. Tomlin could be gone. I will root for Texans all the way. Yeah, I'm rooting for the Texans too. Seattle game, 40 degrees, chance of rain. 50 AFC. If we was in the AFC, we could have made it back to Super Bowl. Yeah. Look, I feel like we had a talent enough roster. We should have made it now. If I were to fire Nickel one more year, I just don't see him as a coach. He's a cheerleader coach vibe guy. I think because of his record, they're not going to fire him. But what I would tell him is that you have no longer any say in the offense. We're bringing in somebody that's going to be their offense. And if he doesn't like that, then I would let him go. If he does, then I'd be fine. Mark fainted after he saw Stroud get more playoff wins than Dak. How many Super Bowls, how many playoff wins does Stroud have now? Does he have 2? JJ Davis Super Chat. Pull up Mark Holmes' stream right now. All right, hold on. Right now, you said? There you go. What am I missing here? What are they doing?
Whoa. Pause on the M&M commercial.
I missed Super Chat.
M&M said, wait, there's a peanut inside of me?
Oh, man.
They gave a plug.
Carlos, I missed this one. Thank you for Super Chat. Here's a name for offensive coordinator, Mike Shanahan from Indiana. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah. I wonder if the Eagles, I don't know if they would go college, though. What am I missing? I don't understand. Oh, they're sleeping? They're tired? Who's...
Yeah, I think
Christian Elizabeth, what are you jealous? Oh, Echo.
The offense got 20 points in the game. They'll go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they look like they're being tortured. That's pretty awesome. Terry, I like this comment. All these hypothetically comments about some realistic. That's pretty good. Yeah, Byron Leftwich is a good name. Like, yeah, why not? They look like they're sleeping, dude. Jerry Jones' birthday, he's about 19,500. Jerry's birthday's today, it's tomorrow, it's every day. Boy, the Steelers' offense looks like the Eagles' offense. Stroud is 3. Wow, he's 3. He's played in 5 playoff games. Wow, so he's won more playoff games than Dak Prescott. Caleb Williams has played in 1 playoff game, and he's only 1 win less. I only have 2 less wins than Dak Prescott playoff wins. That's crazy. And really, with Rodgers out, right? Rodgers out now, Stafford's the only guy right? Stafford's the only quarterback that's won a Super Bowl that's left. That's crazy. Wow. And next, it's crazy. Malcolm says, do you think Howie will take cap hit and trade A.J. Brown to get value while he consider all our draft picks? No, I mean, well, what kind of pick do you think you'll get for him? I think you'll get a mid-round pick for A.J., a 4th-round pick. I mean, I think they'll trade him if they have to, but I don't think they will. I don't think they will. Great, it's a beating. This was the only game that was a real beating this week. Everything else was close to the wire. Now we'll see if Tomlin survives. Could both the Ravens and Steelers be going for new coaches? Oh, we got to go Jerry Jones. Will your schedule be the same in all season? Yeah, pretty much. It'll be pretty much. I might. There may be one extra day a week that I don't do anything, or maybe maybe not as many live streams in the morning. But yeah, pretty much going to try to keep it. Steelers fans were laughing at us at first take with Cam Newton. Oh, really? They're not laughing anymore. Harbaugh to the Steelers, some fans get Ravens Tomlin. Would that be crazy? Tomlin to the Ravens and Harbaugh to the Steelers. That would be nuts. So would you consider a trade with the Raiders, AJ and something for Cross? I would consider it, yeah. Would I do it? Probably not. But I mean, I'm much more in the thought process of make AJ happy by getting a good quarterback. I don't want to lose AJ Brown. I don't. I just don't want to deal with it. Yeah, this was a blowout, bro. This was a blowout. Honestly, after that game, I feel like A.J. Brown has dipped a little bit, but still probably remains high. What do you guys think A.J. can get? Like in a trade, what do you guys think a team would give him? See, I don't think the Eagles could get a first for him. I don't think they could get a second for him. Third, I don't know, maybe a third, but probably not. I'm thinking that the most you're going to get for A.J. Brown is a fourth. With his contract and what a team has to take on, with his age, I just feel like it's more valuable to just keep him. Let's not forget, nobody wants to play for Nick. You have to get a whole new team, not just AJ. You think everybody doesn't want to play? You think Nick is that bad? Really? Man, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to think. Third at best. Yeah, I'm thinking a third, maybe a third or a fourth. So here's what we got next week. I'll be streaming all the games. So Bills, Denver, 4:30 Eastern on Saturday. The night game is 49ers, Seahawks. I wish that was reversed. And then Sunday, you got New England, Texans on Sunday at noon, 3 Eastern. And then 6:30 Eastern, you got Rams, Bears, the Sunday night game. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Think it would be a third? Yeah. I mean, that would be a lot. Raiders or Jet would offer a second to a low first. Good off. I don't think they would. I don't think the Raiders, who are picking one in the draft, are going to offer you a first or a second round pick for A.J. Brown. I don't think they would do it. Do Washington football? No, they're done. A.J. and a 3 for Crosby. Well, I mean, look, you have a lot of third round picks, right? Bad teams won't trade AJ because he's in his prime. Those teams would want younger, cheaper players. Agree. Bears get smoked. See, I think the winner of the Bears Rams game is going to Super Bowl. Not hurt season. The concerning part in a trade with AJ is the contract and high separation numbers. He has had hammy problems. His separation was lowest of his career by wide margin in game, and isn't his game speed. Yeah, I agree. I think it's all going to play a big factor. I think there's a lot of people that think we're going to get a lot for him. I think once they realize that you're not, they would change their opinion about trading him. Tyreek was traded for a first, second, and third at the same age. AJ won't get that, but I could see a second or high third. I would be shocked if they got second. I really would. I would. I mean, Tyreek Hill, the thing with Tyreek Hill is he was so fast and so dangerous that, I could see why teams would trade for him. I don't think AJ would get that. I think it's more valuable to just keep him. And I think if you get the right coordinator, I think he'll be all right. I think it's all resolvable. Trade Sirianni instead. Well, what I want to see is what Sirianni's reaction going to be when the Eagles tell him, yeah, you have no say in this offense anymore. Fourth, and I'll tune into you, Philly, like I said, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I fucks with you because you're a real one. But y'all fans suck. But shout out to you, Dallas Cowboys for life, baby. Well, thank you, Mark Smith. I appreciate it. I mean, I'm just being honest. I think it's about a fourth rounder. Trade Sirianni for Pizza Hut coupons. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I agree, Mouse. AJ will stay, won't trade him. Effing crumbs. Kevin Patullo is a bigger problem. I agree. That's why I agree with Big Sills on a waste a year for a $200 million offense that prevent offense scheme with teams left. It was our Super Bowl to lose, and our offensive coach, head coach, did exactly that. I can't disagree, Fly Eagles. I can't disagree, and I think we all knew the coaching stuff was a problem. You just hope that the talent could overcome it, and it couldn't. It couldn't. Brown was not upset at Hurts. He was pissed at the play call. Get Frank Reich. We need an adult in the room because ownership will not get rid of Sirianni. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be my bet. If I had to bet, I would bet that Frank Reich is the guy. It just makes a lot of sense, right? The Eagles like Frank Reich. He was here when we won a Super Bowl. And the thing that Frank Reich really did, like if you guys remember, and Doug gets a lot of credit for it, but it really was Frank Reich. When you remember when we went to the playoffs and we had the bye week, and it was like Frank Reich changed that offense to adjust it to Nick. That was Frank Reich, man. And that's a sign of a good coach. The Eagles love him. Sirianni loves him. And here's the biggest thing. He's not going to go anywhere next year. He's not going to get a head coaching job. So he'll be there. Frank Reich makes too much sense. Philly may be similar to what did Diggs? What was the trade? You have to remind me. I've got 3 stickers on my 1987 book it. 11 pizzas. So I don't think enough people are talking about the refs yesterday. They gave the Niners so many breaks and missed so many holds on Carter Davis. Yeah, I know. The problem is when you complain about it, then people say, "Oh, you're just making excuses." I think that's why. They want to say the kick Nick's ass. We can work that out. I agree with the right corner. They might keep him and just need to get rid of the whiteout diva mentality. Yeah, trade AJ for, I mean, Denver's not going to do that. It's funny. I wanted Frank back for a while now. Him and Vic are both old and perfect for us. Yeah. The cap hit will really affect us signing players next year and not worth doing it. I want to see AJ could do with another offensive coordinator before I really... Me too. I agree with that user. Do you think 12 wins will get you number 2 again next year? Yeah, probably. Probably. You probably need, for the 1 seed, probably 13 wins minimum. Howie's going to tell him. Howie and the owner, they're going to tell him. And Nick's going to say, okay. And if Nick doesn't say okay, then they're going to say, all right, well, we'll meet again in 2 days. And then they'll say, what do you think, Nick? And if he says no, it's going to be fired. Because that's exactly what they did with Doug Peterson. Exactly. Remember, what was his name? Something Taylor. I can't remember his name. And they wanted him to fire his offensive coordinator, and they wanted to hire the coordinator, and he didn't want him to. Why not get rid of Sirianni, KP, and the scheme? Well, I mean, I'm not opposed to that, actually. But I don't think they would do it because the amount of wins Nick has had. I think Hurts threw the ball into triple coverage trying to draw a flag. Maybe. I also think they told him throw to Dallas Goedert. I think that's where they told him to go. Yeah, press Taylor. He stunk. Another year more drama than actual football. Oh yeah. It's going to be that kind of all season. But if the Eagles can get this right with the coordinator early, boy, we got a lot of draft picks. And I still think you got a really good team. Philly Diggs went to Houston for a second round. I would be shocked if the Eagles could get a second for him. I would. I mean, God bless. If we could do it, that would be great. I mean, I don't want to trade him, but man, that would be crazy. I would love Tomlin as coach. It's not his fault they don't have. I love Tomlin, man. I love Tomlin too. I agree. If KP isn't fired tomorrow, I'm worried. I'm giving it to Wednesday. If he ain't fired by Wednesday, then I'm going to start saying, what the hell is going on? We got a lot of young up-and-coming genius guys. We don't need to pigeonhole ourselves with a stale, moldy, brittle man. Yeah, well, I don't know what they're thinking, though. I think part of it is they don't want another coordinator that's here a year and then gone. But the other thing is Nick and his relationship with Kurt. I mean, well, we're going to have to see. If you love Tomlin, you clearly don't know Steeler fans. Dude, one of my best friends in my life is a Steeler fan. What are you talking about? Look, there's a difference between, a guy running his course in the city and having to go out and then saying he's a good or bad coach. Tomlin might have run his course out in Pittsburgh, just like Andy Reid ran his course. His time was up in Philly. That doesn't mean he's a bad coach. I don't know what you're talking about, man. My best friend in the world, I just talked to him. He's a lifelong Steeler fan. We literally were at the casino in Vegas playing craps with Ben Roethlisberger. What are you talking about? Tomlin's not a bum. That's not true. His time in Pittsburgh may have run its course, but he is not a bum. 18 years with one team is crazy in this era. It's crazy. Yeah, just like sometimes time just, like after a amount, you just need a change. When Andy left Philly, I didn't think Andy was a bum. I thought he was a great coach, but time was up. We may have sucked this year, but at least we had the balls to fire a shitty defensive coordinator instead of getting rid of a weakness. Y'all keep shitty offensive coordinator. Y'all got to watch. Yeah, but, dude, you've been off, 2 weeks now? We've been literally just finished playing yesterday. Give us a chance. People need to put some respect on Tomlin name. He is a winning record. I love Tomlin. I always think of it sometimes I think of it like if I was a player, what coaches would I love to play for? I would kill to play for Tomlin. Meech says 500. I understand everybody trying to make it seem like we would be okay, but I'm still sick. We wasted Super Bowl year because of bad. Yeah, I know. I agree. The coaching staff cost us, man. Because I think talent wise, I think we're talented than any of these teams. I do, and I think we wasted it too. I agree. So thank you for stream games. Thank you, my man. I think it'll depend on money. Yeah, Marvin Lewis was with the Bengals for like 15 years of mediocrity. Yeah, but he never won. I mean, Tomlin won. Tomlin won. I would rather have. That's pretty hard. Probably Chip Dip Kelly. Tomlin never had a losing record. Rather, agreed. Yeah, it was. Couldn't win the big game, and I think Andy Reid needed Patrick Mahomes to help get him over. I do, but Reid was still a good coach. All right, Philly, I got to work tomorrow. I got to still shower. So getting off. Good night. See you. All right, my man. You have a great night, my friend. He also would drive wide receiver very well. Yeah, Pittsburgh has done a good job with those. Yeah, they got to go. I don't know how most Eagle fans feel about this. I'm indifferent to Steelers. Like, the Steelers don't bother me. I don't hate them. I don't love them. But they hate Dallas, and I like that. They beat the crap out of Dallas in the 70 Super Bowl. I like that. No, I don't have a problem with Steelers. Like Pittsburgh, like the Pittsburgh Penguins in hockey, I can't stand them. But, no, Steelers don't. They're AFC. I know our fans will say Howie will figure it out, the cap, but I really think it would affect us if we let AJ go. What are your thoughts, Philly? Who's up for contract 22? Well, I don't know. Off the top of my head, 2027, you're going to have Jordan Davis would be up. Moro Jomo would be up. You've got to do something with Cooper DeJean soon, too. So, yeah, you got some big signings that have to come. I agree. I mean, it's a lot. It's a big hit to get rid of AJ. I don't think the Eagles want to get rid of him. But I mean, we'll see. Yeah, Steelers, I mean, that's pretty much how I feel, too. Yeah, Steelers, they don't got nothing, man. Who do you trust more, Dak or Darnold? Darnold. Darnold, like Dak, I know what you're going to get in the playoffs. Darnold, I think I know what you're going to get, but I'm not sure. He's still on the clock, kind of. So I'll go with Darnold till further notice. The bigger question is, who do you trust more, Dak or Herbert? Because to me, that's the same guys. You should really look into streaming the Sixers. You live in California, you can stream the early games, but maybe the later ones. Yeah, I could look at maybe the late, like if they're on a West Coast trip or something, But when they start at 4 o'clock my time, there's no chance. Well, Darnold, yeah, he was pretty bad last year, but I mean, we'll see. It's still to be determined. The only mistake AJ made this year was asking for a nickname. You just got to get given one. Other than that, thank you very much for your very good work and leadership. Sucks. You dropped the last 3. You can't say always open and then drop the ball. I agree. You can't ask for a nickname. You have to be given a nickname. I agree. I 1,000% agree with you. For those of you hating AJ, I guarantee you're the ones that love Nick. Funny how that works, huh? Nick. He has number 1 seed, ever been not favored at home. I do. I actually think the Eagles in 2017 were underdogs to Minnesota. If I remember correctly, I believe we were underdogs in that championship game. We were underdogs against every team that played us in that playoffs that year in 2017. We were underdogs. That's why the mask came out. So yeah, we were. I don't know anybody else, but I know for a fact the Eagles in 2017 were underdogs. I think Jalen folded. No, I wouldn't say folded. When you see what he had to throw to, and you see the play that they had, I think they really put him in a box. You know. Would I consider Frank Seth? No, I don't think Seth could handle. I think Seth would beat one of those players up. I don't think he could handle it. I love Seth though. I just don't. I don't know if he could deal with the players. Yeah, did Minnesota have the number one defense then? Yeah, I can't remember. No, not a kitten, unfortunately. Just my cat playing with her little toy. Yeah, Seth is old school. I'm good with Pittsburgh. In fact, that's my number 2 team. I'm from the state of Pennsylvania. I'm just from Philly, and my older brother wanted to go out there. Oh, okay. Yeah, very cool. What do you think the reason this organization is trying to trade Jalen? Well, I haven't heard anything like that. What do you mean? I haven't seen one report saying they're trying to trade Jalen. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know if 500. Does Frank really change our offense? Maybe we should have a guy that says no to Sirianni. This is my offense situation. Well, that'll be the key, Jeremy. I mean, if they bring Frank Reich in and Nick still has say in the offense, then it's a waste. But if Frank can run his offense, I do think it'll help. Yeah, I think Frank would be good. But are there other candidates that I would like? Yeah. I would like a guy like McDaniel or something. But, I mean, we'll see. Great Street, Philly. Have a good... Okay, you too, my friend. Philly just saw Nick Foles' podcast where he broke down the last play. I'm shocked that it didn't seem on the field like Petula was going through the call sheet with options that Jalen liked. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, Tomlin might get fired. He might get fired. I think Frank Reich's the most realistic hire because we know the Eagles love him. The Eagles know he's not going to be gone after 1 year. And Nick likes him. And if Nick has got to give away his offense and control, the only guy he might be okay with it is Frank Reich. But, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, the dog match started in 2017 because we were underdogs at home. Need a wrench, but here says, okay, well, keep coming in and I'll give you one. Frank Reich has a history here too. He does. D-Gun said something about Shady and D-Jack said that AJ is not the problem, that the quarterback. Yeah, apparently Shady made some comments. I haven't seen them yet. I have no idea what exactly was said, so I can't really comment on it. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's going to get interesting. Why is Nick even in control after my ass off? The man should know what to do and not to do if you use analytics. Well, you know, it's pretty much his offense, and then he's had people running what his offense is, the prevent offense. Do you think Laurie and Howie might sugarcoat it by hiring Frank as a consultant and keep a KP with the excuse that he'll grow with? No, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna keep Petullo. I don't think so. Laurie is an offense guy. He wants high flying, explosive offense. No, I can't see that at all. I'd be shocked if they kept Petullo. I would be shocked. Shady said people around the Eagles say Hurts can't handle complicated offenses. You know, yeah, I don't know. it's hard to know. I don't want to say he's lying or whatever, but I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to believe. But I'll say this: like, if you get an offensive coordinator in here who can run his offense, we're gonna find out. Because if you have somebody that actually knows what they're doing, that is running their offense, which is different than Nick, and the same problems happen, then we can say, yeah, that's true. It's true. And then I'll fully admit it. But I need to see. It is his offense or is it Julian's? That's why we're stuck with his. No, well, Julian and the analytics department are huge into that, right? And they have to play a part of it. But it's Nick's philosophy. You see it in the Hard Knocks where he's like, we're 42-2 if we win the turnover battle. That's how he thinks, So if you're up 13-0, he's saying to Jalen Hurts, if nothing's there, throw it away. Roll out, throw it away. Roll out, throw it away. He thinks if he wins the turnover battle, he's going to win. And guess what? He won the turnover battle yesterday and he didn't win. Go Birds. You have a great night, my friend. I'm afraid Tomlin's just an average coach. He won his only Super Bowl with cowards players. I mean, I guess people think that. I think Tomlin's a good coach. I do. I don't know how Nick is a head coach, to be honest. The guy can't do basic concepts. Like I said, I think Nick Sirianni is our version of Barry Switzer. Your older guys will understand exactly what I'm talking about. I do like Frank as a coach, but I think Nick will still have too much input. I agree Frank would be here for a few years. Yeah, well, if Nick is saying you got to run, my offense, or we're gonna do it the way I want, but you call the plays, I got a problem with that. I do. The only reason it worked with Moore was because Moore was really good, I think, in-game adjustments, which Patullo can't do. That's why every week when the Eagles come out, they look halfway decent. You're like, oh, okay, they had 2 drives, scored 14 points. All right, okay, the Eagles are moving the ball. The offense looking good. And then, boom, defense adjusts, and we're done. We can't adjust. And it happened every week. He's a like a CEO manager, personalities and stuff. I don't know. If you told me tomorrow we're going to get a new head coach, I'm perfectly fine with it, But I just think with the amount of wins that he has and his record he's amassed, I can't see the Eagles moving on from him. I'm not placing this year on Hurts. I've been through it's Hurts discussion too damn much. When we have a good offensive coordinator, Hurts gets 2 Super Bowls. When we have we're right. I agree. Like, give him a good offensive coordinator. Somebody who can go away from the stuff that Nick wants to do, this prevent offense. Get him a good coordinator, and then let's see what he does. If he screws up, we'll say it. But I just think it's really hard to evaluate Jalen Hurts when you look at some of the, like that last play at 4th down, like where is he supposed to go with the ball? Like if you, I guess he could have thrown it up to AJ in the corner, but that's 50-50. Like that was the best play that he had to work with. How is that maximizing your players? I don't get it. Nathan, look over here. Jalen's kicking, baby. He's punching him. Right? Yeah, I do too, man. I think Elliott needs you need to do something about the kicker. Nick to me, Nick thinks about head coach being a motivational speaker, which is the only thing he does. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nick really bothered me with the whole attitude of the 2nd and 3rd seed. Like, he was so nonchalant, like, who cares about the 2nd seed? Like, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. If you would have won that game and you were the 2nd seed, you'd be playing the Bears in Philly. And let me tell you, you probably beat Green Bay, and the Bears would have had to deal with the Niners. So it's just like, I don't know. I just thought there was an arrogance and
I don't know. Just like, man, your players play and you're trying to maximize stuff all year, and you talk about, doing the little things and taking care of the things you can take care of. It's like, hey, you just gave a game away to a team that beat you. It really bothered me. Yeah, I am losing my voice. I drank all my water. I need more water. The rest of last week, the rest of this too, yeah. Eagles should have get rid of Sirianni and kept Moore. A.J. Brown's fall off needs to be studied. I think if you go back to the Atlanta game, and the second after the Eagles came back against, not Atlanta, I'm sorry. If you go back to the Rams game and you watch the post game, just do it. You listen to A.J. Brown, listen to Devontae Smith, and listen to Jalen Hurts. This is what we got to do. We're killers. We're holding back, and we, look at us when we get to go out there and be what's in our personality. Okay, great. The next week they play Tampa. They go up 24-6 at halftime. They're coming out. They're throwing. Okay, that's two halves where they're throwing all over. They look great. They come out in that second half, 24-6. And I said this in the stream before the first snap of the second half. They look dejected. Why do these players look like they don't want to be there? Why do they all look upset? And it was because they went right back into that way of playing. And I think it demotivates those guys. I think you're forcing players to be something they're not. And I think it's a problem. Philly, Nick would have found a way to lose to Green Bay. Yeah, well, you might be right. All right, Phil, I'm about to call it a night going down. Night. It's been real friend. Until next time, it sounds like you're getting hoarse. Yeah, I need to get a drink. Yeah, I'm about to jump off too. Just a reminder, we got the last episode of Hard Knocks tomorrow, which, I hope we get some good insight to some of the things that was going on in that game. It's going to be hard to watch, but we got to watch the last episode. I probably won't have a video or something unless there's like Patullo fired, which I believe happens on Wednesday, but we'll see. So I'll try to be on around 8:30 Eastern. The organization is horrible with believing everything. Yeah. Steichen should be made the head coach. Look at what he did with Daniels Jones. Yeah, you can't underestimate. Well, yeah. Oh, I agree. Nick at halftime cheering, no turnovers. Yeah, that was his whole thing. We win a turnover battle, we're going to win the game. Have I ever met Nick? No. Hurts saw these plays in preseason. He didn't say anything then. He was on board, can't jump off now. The one thing I would like to see with Hurts more, and I just don't think it's in his personality, is I don't think he's going to challenge the coach. I don't think he's going to say something like, he's going to do what they say. That's the way he is. That's why A.J. Brown spoke up. I think A.J. Brown was speaking up for the whole team, and he took the arrows when it seemed like he was being selfish. That's how I saw it, but what do I know? All right, Elaine, you have a great night. Kevin Patullo was trash, but aside from Devontae Smith and Connor, everybody else was below average, including Saquon Hurts. I mean, it's hard to argue. The question is how can so many guys be that bad at one time? Like, what's going on, So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting off season. Go to Pizza if you want to meet Nick. Yeah. Mothman Bat Baby. No Hurts. I feel an Eagles-Cowboys Thanksgiving Day game this year. Haven't played since 2014. These two games were early this year. I hope not. I don't want the Eagles playing on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or on Thanksgiving. Those are always the days I'm like, please, no games. But we'll see. Anyways, guys, I appreciate everybody hanging out with me tonight. Of course, this game was a blowout, but I had fun talking to you guys nonetheless. I am going to get out of here. I will be live tomorrow, probably about 8:30. So we'll talk some Eagles before our final episode of Hard Knocks, and it should be interesting. But I love you guys. I appreciate everybody. And yeah, I'm going to go get a drink of water. So I will see you guys tomorrow. And who knows what will happen. I'll see you, bro. Rocco, Donnie, everybody. You guys have a great night. I'm going to get out of here. And thank you. What was it? Psycho, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night. And we got some really interesting games this weekend. I can't wait to watch. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Peace.
2 minutes to go. You have plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off, it's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay!
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak!
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott! Trying to feed the ball. Trying to feed the CeeDee Lamb! Trying to feed the CeeDee Lamb! You tried to feed the CeeDee Lamb! You got to give it to CeeDee Lamb! God! It's over! It's over, Dak! Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.